The tape. We do a little bit different around here.
We ain't gonna play. We ain't gonna play. Shut up and grind the tape.
The tape. Let's grind.
We ain't gonna play. We ain't gonna play. Them dogs in your face.
Let's grind.
We ain't gonna play. We ain't gonna play. Shut up and grind the tape.
The tape. Let's grind.
We ain't gonna play. We ain't gonna play. Them dogs in your face. Shut up and grind.
Let's grind.
Grind the tape, bro. Grind the tape, bro. Grind the tape.
The tape. The tape. Let's grind.
Grind the tape, bro. Grind the tape, bro. Grind the tape, bro. Shut up and grind. Grind the tape, bro. Grind the tape, bro. Grind the tape.
The tape. The tape.
Grind the tape, bro. Grind the tape, bro. Grind the tape, bro.
The tape.
UGA game day, boy, we ball out. Pull up, put the whole conference in the doghouse. Leave them 6 feet, see me on the win streak. All-star status, go coach and the bench deep. Offense on 10, how we run it? Your best ain't nothing, we gon' send them boys punting. Black and red, got them dead on arrival. Defense hunker down for the tie. Hey, you don't want it with the dogs. Film guy on it, you don't want it with my dog. Break it down, play by play, that's the day-to-day. They know we ain't gonna play, boy, it's UGA. Kirby Smart, I cannot play the fool. Back to back, we did not come to lose. Back to back, like we got something to prove. Pay your dues, dog nation on the move. What's up?
We do a little bit different around here.
We ain't gonna play. We ain't gonna play. Shut up and grind the tape.
The tape. The tape.
We ain't gonna play. We ain't gonna play. Them dogs in your face.
Let's grind.
We ain't gonna play. We ain't gonna play. Shut up and grind the tape.
Shut up. Let's grind.
We ain't gonna play. We ain't gonna play. Them dogs in your face. Shut up and grind.
Let's grind.
Grind the tape, bro. Grind the tape, bro. Grind the tape.
The tape. The
Shut
tape.
up and grind.
Let's grind.
Grind the tape, bro. Grind the tape, bro. Grind the tape, bro. Shut up and grind. Grind the tape, bro. Grind the tape, bro. Grind the tape.
The tape.
Shut up and grind. Grind the tape, bro. Grind the tape, bro. Grind the tape, bro.
Shut up. The tape.
Welcome in, ladies and gentlemen, to MBR, or as we like to call it around here, Nothing But Rants, the show where I find topics that I'm oddly passionate about and I pontificate upon them. These are not hot takes, but rather takes that I'm hot about. What's up? You really like that?
Let's shut up and grind some tape.
How about now?
Mic check.
There we go. There we go. Something got messed with. We should be good now, guys. Thank you for the heads up.
You know what? Do this again.
From the top.
What is up, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome in to the Film Guide Network on a fabulous Thursday evening here on the network. Hey, every once in a while, got to roll with the punches, right? It is a game of momentum. It is a game of swings. It is a game of sudden changes. And sometimes around here, you got to be able to play on your feet. So here we are on a Thursday, as we say around here, last show, best show. Got a great one for you. Let's lock in for the next 2 hours. We have an absolutely loaded show as usual. I got an update for you on that Florida coaching job. Well, it's Billy's for now, but it seems to me that the college football world is already in the midst of preparing for that job to be open based off conversations I had today. We're going to go through our predictions today as well and rate those predictions. We'll tell you what we are watching in one of the segments we love best around here called Take a Peek. And of course, we're going to give you our final thoughts on the games coming up this weekend, and it's Thursday, so we have, unless it doesn't happen, a staple around here. I think that's become a fan favorite. I think people love unless it doesn't happen, huh?
I think people hate it, dude.
You think people hate it?
I think the wrong people hate it. The outsiders looking in go, who's this guy?
I get far more compliments on unless it doesn't happen than really anything. Shout out to the 50 gifted
Oh yeah,
like a TikTok or what do they call Twitch streamer.
I feel like you're.
Thanks for the 50 gifted, huh?
Bro, you're like Anthony Evans with that water bottle over there.
What is that?
Anthony Edwards. I mean, I get those names mixed up. You haven't seen the video of him with the Gatorade bottle?
No.
Either way. But no, this is a very big weekend of college football. I was telling you before we didn't have audio. I can't remember the last time I've walked away from a college football Saturday or woken up on Sunday and been like, nothing really happened. Not a single entertaining game, not a single monumental moment. It was all just kind of like, blah. Never happens in college football. They always deliver.
All right. Make sure you're hitting that thumbs up button, like, subscribe, rate, review, and all that good stuff. Let's go ahead and get to work. I want to start, guys, in Knoxville, Tennessee, where it was reported today by Pete Nakos at On3 that Jamad McCoy, the future first-round draft pick, projected first-round draft pick, I think he's a lock for a top 45 pick if he never plays another down of college football. Coming off of an ACL tear, January 20th.
Yeah, it was very early in the offseason.
January 20th. He is set and returning to play or expected to play as early as the Arkansas game for this Tennessee football team. Guys, that's less than or just under 10 months going to get surgery, repair, rehab like a madman, and come out and play football. We talked about Sunday on this network developing an I Love Football award, okay? An I Love Football award that we dedicated the first, a bunch of them, right? A whole plethora, half of a roster worth of them to the Florida defense for showing up and playing their guts out the last 2 weeks. I want to issue another I Love Football award to Jamad McCoy because, guys, I feel like our sport has, and this is not, I'm not saying this is a bad thing. I think this is okay. I am one who prioritizes self-development and you are your individual success and you got an opportunity to go make a lifetime money for your family. That's all great. But all that being said, I think my sport has been inundated the last decade and a half with individualism, right? Professional business decisions left and right. All right, there was a very famous one at the cornerback position at Michigan last year. I don't know how much that young man worked to get back, all right? And I don't want to call him out by name because it was working out for him. He's an Arizona Cardinal now. He was a top 45 pick, and it worked out great. But I just want, when these things happen, guys, when we see first-round top 45 picks choose team success and putting their body on the line for a national title opportunity or what seems to be an opportunity for a playoff run, I think that should be commended, and I think we should tip of a cap to that.
No, absolutely it should be. This is the day and age. I mean, you set up for bowl games when you're healthy. There's been multiple instances of players, hey, I've got a first-round eval. I'm going to shut it down. I can think of 5 off the top of my head. The first one I ever really thought of and realized, this guy is just kind of coasting because he's a number 1 overall pick was Jadeveon Clowney. And that was, 12 years ago now, so it makes sense that we still see this in college football. But no, shout out to Jamad McCoy for making every step possible or taking all the steps to come back and actually play this season.
Yeah, I mean, I think that when we went up to Knoxville, there was kind of the feeling around there was that maybe both him and Ricky Gibson wouldn't play this season. So the fact that Jamad McCoy is going to come back and especially knowing that, which I mean, certainly I think that it's great too for Tennessee because it feels like they are in a moment of contention again, despite the fact how everything looked in the preseason and everything. But now it looks like, these guys are contending for a playoff spot. And so knowing that might be coming down the road for you, that you're going to get one of your best defensive players, that's a big thing.
I think there have been a plethora, a trilogy of what I would call absolute culture wins for Tennessee football program over the last 9 months, starting with the Nico situation, right? Nico goes in there, hostile negotiation tactics like we talk about all the time on this show. And Josh Heupel's like, no, buddy. No, we're not doing none of that. You can go ahead and kick rocks. Go ahead. Go ahead and hit the portal. And then we see what happens there. I don't think anyone could have projected, well, we kind of did once they selected Joey Aguilar, but I don't think anybody watched a 5-star walk out and be like, they're certainly going to get better at quarterback. I think they got certainly a little bit lucky in that situation that Joey was available and seems to be an upgrade, right? But that's an absolute culture win. That's choosing team over individual, right? And then we see another example of that this summer, guys, when they are absolutely, I'm going to say holding the feet of Boo Carter to the fire of, no, this is how we are going to do things around here. You're going to do things the way we say as a team. You're not going to be skipping summer workouts and not get punished for it. You're going to sit, right? We're going to play this other nickel for a little while. And then what happens? By week 3, I know it's UAB, but Boo Carter has a career football game. That is a culture win for that football program. That is a thing that they can say, hey, do it right. It happens for you. I guarantee you that message has been said all around that building this week. And this Jamad thing, right? Going out there and standing on Tennessee football and saying, I'm going to do everything I can to get back in 10 months and play. No. I'm not walking to the NFL draft. I'm not going to get ready for the NFL draft process. I'm going to go out and get ready to win football games for Tennessee with my last opportunity to, guys. I told y'all before the show, I am a firm believer that championship identity, championship culture, championship clues, all right, they all show up. They all arrive prior to championship success, right? The ultimate ring on your finger, right? That's the final penultimate of it. But all these clues are left on the road. I'm not saying Tennessee's going to win a national title in the near future, but I'm not going to be shocked if they do. I'm not, because I see these things and I've seen them happen at programs like Georgia, right? Monty Rice played on one foot in 2020, just absolutely gutting himself. Why? For 10-2, for the G, right? For program success, right? John Fitzpatrick played with a rod in his foot for 8 weeks. Why? Like, none of these guys didn't sacrifice any less or any more than the dudes who actually got the ring. But they put that championship culture before the ultimate success, guys. I've seen things at Tennessee, whether it be coaching adjustments, right? Morphing the identity as an offense, right? That's championship coaching. That's what that is, right? The recruiting, the resources, the development, the buy-in from the fan base, and now we see it from the players. There are things here. I'm not saying it's ultimately going to happen, but this is what it looks like on its way to happening.
Yeah, and I think you even, not to turn this into like a Georgia segment, but I think you also saw this after Georgia won 2 national titles, because in the 2023 SEC championship game, you had Brock Bowers hobbling on one foot and Ladd McConkey playing on one leg in that game. Those two guys were obviously fighting for a playoff spot in that game, but they were also just a month out from being first-round, second-round picks. So I think you see it carry over as well. Like, even when you get to the pinnacle of the sport, it still continues to be a thing in those programs.
Yeah, I don't know if there were ever doubts coming into this season, but if there were any, Josh Heupel has absolutely cemented that he is the right guy at Tennessee, and he is the guy for that job. Now, I don't think there were many people saying, hey, Josh Heupel might not be the right answer.
I think he got an extension before the season, didn't he?
Yeah, I think so, yeah.
I mean, he did make the playoffs, but there were some, is this a gimmicky offense? It's never going to work. It never translates to the NFL. Tennessee's going to be relegated to this consistently 8-4, 9-3, just good enough to make the playoff, never anything special. I think Josh Heupel silenced all of those with the culture that he's building, as well as the team he's put on the field. And
the more and more you watch him every single week, the more and more people expose themselves calling this a quote-unquote gimmicky offense.
Mm-hmm. No, it's not that.
You're going to get clapped, all right, because they are doing something totally different this year than they have in years prior. A lot of pistol, a lot of bunching, a lot of playing pro football, like good stuff. Good stuff going on at Tennessee for a quote-unquote wide choice gimmicky offense. Hey, guess what, boys? Day 12 of What Are You Waiting On, Florida? Tomorrow will be day 13. I think we might get up to like day 21 before they ultimately can Billy Napier. We'll talk about that in a little bit. But all of my intel, boys, I talked to some folks today. All of my intel is telling me that they're just simply dragging their feet right about now when it comes to firing Billy Napier, okay? And what makes me believe that is the coaching world, as I tweeted today, is already moving, already talking, already preparing. The machine is starting to operate as if the Florida job is about to become open, as if it already is open, okay? And there's a lot of football coaches that already have, their name kind of in the mix, or will be in the mix, will be interviewed, or will have interest in the job, right? My intel tells me that Scott Strickland may have already kicked some tires on some of this stuff, that he's already maybe set the wheels in motion for it to happen. They're just waiting. They're just waiting for maybe a 5th college football game, and we'll talk about that in a second as well. But guys, some of the names that are getting brought up fit in what I call the category of Power 4 quote-unquote winners, because they just took a winner and a young promising football coach out of a mid-major. Didn't necessarily work out, right? No. So now they're going back to the Dan Mullen method of, can we get a Power 4 winner? So who are some Power 4 winners? Let's talk about Lane Kiffin, right? Big interest in Lane Kiffin. Who knows? There's rumors and circulation that Lane Kiffin and Scott Strickland might have some beef, might have some personal problems amongst them. I saw a tweet today that said Lane Kiffin was basically a shoe-in for the job the time they hired Dan Mullen. There was just some personal stuff going on. I don't know what that means. How about Kirk Cignetti, big-time Power 4 winner?
Sig man.
Right about now, the Sig man. Eli Drinkowitz, a name that often gets brought up with regards to Power 4 winners. Jed Fish, a Florida alum.
The Fish man.
The Fish man. PJ Fleck, the Colt man.
Colt man.
How about that? And then, of course, a guy that I can't stop hearing about every time I talk to somebody about this because he wants to be talked about with regards to not only this job, but maybe another job. It's the Planet Fitness tricep master himself, Jimbo Fisher. Jimbo Fisher trying to get his name in here. So I'm going to submit my own nominee for this Power 4 winner opportunity to take this Florida job.
Okay.
Who you got?
You ready?
Let's hear it.
Drum roll. Georgia Tech's own Brent Key.
Ooh.
How's that sound?
I think that's a very realistic name.
Right?
I think that's one of the more realistic ones I've heard.
I think the Florida fans in the chat just threw up, though.
Probably.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely not the sexy, hey, this is a national title winning guy or a guy who can take us to the next level, even though he pretty much grabbed a Georgia Tech program out of the rubble. That does kind of play into a very interesting thing, though, because if Brent Key does go to Florida.
Brent.
Another instance.
It's Brent.
I know, I said Brent Key.
Okay, I heard
Brett.
I heard Brett.
It's hard sometimes.
Chat, did you hear Brett? I heard Brett.
B-R-E-N-T. Brent Key. If he goes to Florida, does Buster Faulkner just take the Georgia Tech job?
Well, I would think that would probably be one of the names that they float around. But I think the bigger question of when you say Brent Key goes to Florida, I think the pushback that you'll get is, well, that's a Georgia Tech guy. He's having success there. And why would you leave a place where you can, like, the success that you can obtain there is people are going to love you. Like what he's doing right now, but Georgia Tech fans are going to love Brent Key for the rest of eternity. I mean, I know why you leave that job to go to Florida. I think it's pretty obvious, in my opinion, like money. That'd be the biggest thing to access.
That's what I just Googled. It would be twice as much money.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. That's exactly why.
He's going to go from making $4 million at Tech to making probably $8 million at Florida.
Mm-hmm.
And you have to think as a head football coach or somebody who's thinking about taking one of these jobs, it's not just about the increase in your salary, it's the increase in the resources that you're allowed to pay your staff.
Yeah.
Right. Not that you have an opportunity to keep the next Buster Faulkner when you win more games because you can pay him more money. They just had to come out of pocket to pay Buster some additional cash this year.
Ooh, J-Will, you might like this one. Chat's throwing out Raheem Morris.
For the Florida job?
For Florida.
I think that's just Falcons fan rooting for downfall.
That is fair. Send him to the team.
My issue is not with Raheem Morris, but that's for a totally different day.
Totally different podcast. If you want Jay Will's deep, passionate thoughts about the Falcons, you can book him.
Yeah, his number is.
And my price is.
No free ads, no free reads, no free hits.
Jay Will, are you the only one on this show who has not outed their phone number?
Yeah, I think so.
Well, I outed my old construction phone number. So if you dig long enough into this channel's history and enough streams, you'll find it. You'll just be calling a dead phone. So. We ain't put the goods out for my number. So it's still me and you left.
All right,
that's good. We taking a peek?
Let's take a peek.
Let's take a peek. What you boys taking a peek at this weekend? Here's the deal. These are college football playoff potential factors or indicators that we are taking a peek at. For example, I'll be taking more than a peek, even though I'll be doing Friday Night's Mike tomorrow night. But I'll be taking a peek at this TCU-Arizona State football game because I have picked the TCU Horned Frogs to win that Big 12. That's a preseason take that's still holding strong despite these two K-State, what are they? The Jayhawks? The K-State?
The Golden
brain. Football brain. Oh,
Kent
my
State,
Lord.
the Golden
Wildcats. Holy crap, boys. Football brain going crazy tonight. Either way, the two Wildcat fans over here looking a little goofy in the Big 12. I'll be paying attention, though, this week, tomorrow, to this TCU football game because I think them Horned Frogs got something for them out there in Tempe.
You can't call me a Kansas State fan anymore because I jumped off the wagon soon enough.
I'm off that.
Yeah.
I'm off that wagon. I'm on the spoon.
So what my football brain did there was said K-State and then went Jayhawks. I was just trying to get back on the spoon.
Some would say they're the superior brand in the state.
The Jayhawks on your brain, huh? Why don't you come over to this side? It's a lot more fun.
Why don't you come on over here, man? I don't want no part of that.
Yeah, well, you will.
Sounds expensive.
Just you wait. I'll also be paying attention to what Vanderbilt does against Utah State.
Yeah.
I think this will kind of be a letdown spot, which is weird enough to say for a Vanderbilt team, but how they respond in this and how they play coming off of what has been an incredible season thus far, I'll be very interested in that. Just taking a peek because I do think Vanderbilt handles them, but there's a small avenue where we get a Georgia State debacle last year.
I'm going to be snooping on the Utes this weekend. I'm going to be peeking through the blinds, throwing some rocks at the window of this game because solely for the reason of I hope that Utah remains competitive because I want that conference to remain competitive. I don't want a team to just walk away with it or get in the middle of the season. It's like, well, it really is down to Texas Tech and how they finish out this season. Like, I don't want it to be that. I know they had a rough outing last weekend, but I want this conference to actually be good and exciting and worth paying attention to throughout the entire season.
I forgot to wear my ECU Pirates gear tonight. Shout out to the Pirates. I'll be taking a peek at this A&M Auburn game because I'm very curious. I was telling the boys today, I don't care what the rankings say. You know, I'm not one of these guys. I probably should put out my own rankings, but I think that market's kind of spoken for. So I tend to do the quarterback rankings, which gets people riled up enough. I think we're good without the national rankings riled up. But anyways, I don't care what they say. I think Auburn's a top 20 football program to beat on Saturday. You line up against Auburn on Saturday, they're a top 20 football team, I think. So if A&M is real, if A&M is a real contender for a playoff spot, you should handle a top 20 football team at home. And I'm not saying like beat them by 3 scores, but this should not be, oh, you escaped one. I don't think so. So I'll be taking a peek. If A&M is real this weekend, they'll take care of business against Auburn. If they last second breather, if they've Notre Dame win this, I'm going to look at it and be like, I still don't know. I still don't know if you're real. And I don't know if that's fair, but I think you should be out here taking care of business against what I think is a top 20 football team at home.
Yeah, I mean, especially since everyone's like, oh, they're a playoff contender this year. I really like what Texas A&M's got going on. Go out and handle business. You're at home. This is a team that's had a massive letdown moment. You're superior talented. You should win this game by at least 10 points.
I was going to say a touchdown. Just give me a fourth quarter, like it's 10 minutes left. You put it up by 10. They kick a field goal. Can't get a ball back. You know what I'm saying? Like, control the football game.
Fine. 2 scores, 9 points.
Yeah. What else y'all curious about? What you taking a peek at?
I'm going to be keeping an eye on this South Carolina-Kentucky game. Now,
just an eye?
This game might be poop in a brown paper bag, all right? It might be one of those affairs, but it could also be a game where you get someone else's DoorDash or you get some free Chick-fil-A, all right? It could be one of those of like...
How often does that happen?
It's happened once to me. That's good enough. That's all I needed to know.
Did you claim it?
Yeah, I took that bag. What are you talking about?
Bro, that's bad juju.
I'm doing pretty all right now. Anyways,
I bet Georgia lost the next game he was at because of that.
Couldn't even tell you. Couldn't even remember.
Bad
all right?
juju, bro. You out here taking free food.
Anyways,
Go ahead.
This could either be the revival of a South Carolina offense and maybe Lenore Sellers starts putting things together. Maybe there's some comfortability in this Mike Shula offense. Or it could also be the absolute downfall, and it could just be a pooper of a game between Kentucky and South Carolina, one where it's not even worth paying attention to. You don't even get the SEC Now recap after this one. It's just bad. So I'm keeping an eye on it because it's either going to derail South Carolina's season even more, or maybe it provides some optimism for them moving forward.
That sucker smells like 16-13.
Yeah, it does.
It smells like 16-10.
That smells like we get a tweet from a Big Ten media member. It's like, I thought the Big Ten had boring
SEC.
games. That's exactly what that smells like. I'm going to be paying attention. Speaking of Big Ten, I want to see what USC does to Illinois and if they can physically dominate this team. We just watched Indiana basically have their way with them, like embarrass that team. USC, Lincoln Riley have been kind of building up to be this more physical, more defense-oriented team. I want to see if they can showcase that against Illinois this week in a lose and you're out of the top 25 matchup.
I'll stick with the Big Ten. I'll be watching Mendoza this weekend. Not that I haven't been.
Thank you.
Not that I haven't been. Like, all jokes aside, I told you before the show, he's going to be, before yesterday's show, before we actually debuted the rankings, Mendoza's a lock for a top 8 quarterback in this league or in this sport right now. Moving forward on those rankings, I just want to stir some Hoosier fans up. They showed up in numbers, by the way. It took them about 24 hours, but they
were not happy.
They there now, and that's good. That's all we wanted. But in all seriousness, they played less than tomato cans. Like them's old sardine cans that they was playing in the first 3 weeks. And then they get Illinois and boat race them. Let's see what we do this weekend against Iowa. You know, I'm gonna take a stern peek.
To their credit, though, they've handled and passed every test that you put in front of them, no matter how hard the test was.
Except for Ohio State.
Well, I'm talking about this season.
And that Notre Dame game. Yeah. This season.
This season up to this point.
A test.
Gotta respect it.
Yep.
I mean,
got to.
Some teams haven't been tested at all.
Facts. What else you got?
You know, Louisville's been kind of flying under the radar so far this season. They're 3-0. They were kind of talked about as one of these sleeper picks in the ACC, as they often are. I think that Georgia Tech has certainly stolen some of that thunder. I also think that Florida State and Syracuse have kind of overshadowed them a little bit, and rightfully so. But I'm only paying attention to Louisville because I don't know if anybody has noticed, but their running back, Isaac Brown, is averaging 13.1 yards per carry. Now, he only has 19 carries on the season, but 13.1, that is absolutely lightning in a bottle right there. I want to see what this looks like.
I want to ask a poll to the chat right now. Hey, chat, more question about their character. Person who stands up first on the airplane as soon as their seatbelt goes off, or guy who accepts random DoorDash orders that aren't
What are you
theirs?
supposed to do?
Tell them it's not yours.
I literally open my door and it's just sitting there.
I'm on the side with Jay Will on this one.
Like, what am I supposed to do?
Oh, this is on me. Oh, you explained it that way? That
No.
it's just a right. Like you just open your door. And
I
it's
literally
there. Person had
opened-
walked off.
Yeah.
Oh, like hand
No,
to God.
look,
Person
yeah.
had walked off in the car.
Like,
They
look,
gone.
I even did this measure.
I thought Jay will open the door and said, "Who's it for?" And they said, "Patricia." And he was like, "Bet I'm Patricia."
No.
And just took their food.
I literally opened my door and there's a bag of Chick-fil-A sitting there.
Okay.
And I even did this measure.
Passable.
I even checked.
That's a blessing, not a theft.
I even checked
All
the
right.
name to see if it was my neighbor's, and I was going to put it in front of their door, but it was not my neighbor's.
I was honestly worried about the question of my company. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because I thought I was worried
now
about
look,
my question of my character.
look, I did
judgment.
feel bad, though.
I thought Buddy was a stand-up dude all the time.
All I'm
Every
going to
time.
say is this. We remember how he was acting at that
Okay.
Knoxville brewery.
PBJ beers might get him to take some.
He was
Chick-fil-A.
acting up there.
Okay.
I did kind of feel bad because there were 6 cookies, 2 sandwiches,
He said,
and some
Did you
ice
munch
cream
it all?
in there. Oh, yeah.
Bud.
he said, I'm not paying.
Buddy,
With happiness.
with a smile.
Yeah. That was like godsend.
Man, speaking of a smile, I'm gonna have a smile on my face watching that LSU at Ole Miss football game, the matchup between Blake Baker and old Lane Kiffin. I got my notes right here. That reminds me of I don't feel good about this joke. It reminds me of watching 2 mad scientists go at it. We'll leave it at that.
Mad scientist, huh? That fell flat.
I can't do it. I can't do it. All right, nah, I'm good.
It's all right. Hey,
Just the matchup between Blake Baker, who is an absolute lunatic, against a mad scientist in the form of Lane Kiffin, I think it's going to create some fireworks.
no idea what you're referencing, but oh well.
I'll tell you after shit.
You know what else is going to put a smile on my face?
Yeah.
I'm be paying attention to this UCLA versus Northwestern game because at any point in this weekend, if I get sad, I can turn on that game and go, you know what? I could be a fan of either of those 2 teams, and I feel better now. That's why I'm be paying attention to that game.
I'm all out.
Oh, I got one more. You all out?
I got one more.
I
but-
need the finale.
All right, you got the finale. Final one I'll be watching is how does Ohio State's offense operate?
Word up.
That's going to be an interesting one. This Washington line's been very interesting. First road trip for Julian Sane. I will be paying attention to that. I don't think that they're going to lose that game, but there's certainly some opportunities to see some foundation cracks.
You know what I'll be taking a peek at this weekend? This Duke and Syracuse football game.
Oh, your boy.
Yeah. Well, not because of Mensa. Obviously, I'm heavy on the Mensa love around here. Big time Darian Mensa guy. But no, I'll be taking a peek at this Ricky Collins performance, guys. Because Syracuse had Kyle McCord, who had Honda Accord jokes the year at Ohio State, and then came out and lit it up at Syracuse.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? And then Steve the Jelly Man and Jelly come out, and he lighted up at Syracuse. If Ricky Collins comes out here and shreds, I'm going to be looking up Jeff Nixon as the next, like,
He's the next one.
Like the next one. Look, and I had to do my research on Jeff Nixon today because this is a relatively like new, younger name in the coaching like next ups, okay, that nobody really talks about. He's the offensive coordinator at Syracuse, and he spent the last 4 or 5 years in the NFL, but he's a Matt Rule guy. He was with Matt Rule at Baylor, and then went with Matt Rule to Carolina, and then stayed in the NFL in 2023, and then in 2024 came to Syracuse to call plays, and he has been doing nothing but shred. He's been doing nothing but shred since he's been calling plays. And I think this is somebody we need to pay attention to, especially if we go all the way down to Ricky Collins, and who looked good, by the way, against Clemson to close that football game. Did not have a drop off at all. We got to start talking about this coordinator as somebody who is very, very special.
I agree.
It's kind of unfortunate to where like Syracuse is having so much success rapidly that it could also just disappear within the blink of an eye. Like, because you're talking about the OC could be very well be headed for another job. Fran Brown talks it like he's going to stay at Syracuse, and I don't doubt that. I mean, Fran Brown seems to be a man of his word, if you ask me, like the way he talks and carries himself. But I mean, those phone numbers those phone calls are only going to start piling up more and more with every win that he gets at that program. So happy to see the success for Syracuse, and that's working out over there. But I hope they're enjoying it while it lasts.
Yeah, no longer a program that's going under the radar. No longer a program that has people sleeping on them.
Yeah.
Give a quick shout out to our friends over at Sleeper. All right, if you use promo code Brooks today, you'll get a 100% deposit match up to $100. What is Sleeper? Well, Sleeper is a fantasy sports plus real money gaming app focused on bringing people together through sports and gaming. Sleeper has become the fastest organically growing fantasy platform in the world. Head over there today. We got a segment coming up in the local hour. We're going to play some props over there on Sleeper. Hurry up and sign up right now in between now and that segment so you can get in on the action. We're going to give you a play today. Again, promo code Brooks, 100% deposit match over there. Thanks to those folks over at Sleeper. All right, boys, let's get into these predictions. Let's rate these predictions. LSU at Ole Miss. What say you, Kirby?
This has always been a toss-up prediction for me since the very first time that we saw it on the schedule, even before LSU started the season undefeated, even before we saw Ole Miss go through some quarterback changes. I still don't feel great either way. I picked LSU to win this game just because I believe in Garrett Nussmeier a little more. But again, I could very well see it go either way. I have it as a 1.5.
Yeah, I mean, I think that this one is probably a little more confident than that for me, just because this game feels like an Ole Miss win to me, and it has the entire week. It's why I predicted them to win on Monday, and I'm still standing firm with that one. However, I think that the improvements that LSU has had on defense, and like we always say, like defense travels, like that's one of the oldest things that you can say about this sport. But also, Lane Kiffin's offense is really hot when it's at home. So it's hard for me to really say with a firm voice that Ole Miss is definitely winning this game, but I feel fairly confident. I'd sit it at like a 2.6.
I picked LSU earlier in the week, 20-17. But I'm flipping my pick here on a Thursday night.
Whoa.
I did this to start the season. I had Clemson. I flipped it to LSU. It worked out in my favor. I'm reversing the curse this time, all right? I'm picking Ole Miss or LSU, or excuse me, Ole Miss in this football game. And here's why. I got to talking to myself today. If I'm up in arms in a one-score football game, why in the hell would I trust Brian Kelly on the road? Why not just take Lane Kiffin at home, who we know is a totally different football coach at home? He's very, very hard to beat at that place. Give me Ole Miss over the LSU Tigers, 5 out of 5.
5 out of 5.
Absolute stone cold lock of the century for the week.
5 out of 5 is a lot.
Sheesh.
That is by the way, what I just did, the absolute stone cold lock of the century for the week, that is an absolute homage to Scott Van Pelt, like old school radio.
He still does
radio. Lock of the week. Does he do a sounder like that? Stone cold lock of the century.
When I see him on
for
TV,
the week.
When I see him on TV now, the sound is off, but he's still doing his bet shit.
Either way, next football game, Auburn at Texas A&M.
Again, I guess you could classify it as an upset. Same as I picked Ole Miss. I picked Auburn to win this game, but I can't say that I'm super confident in it. The feeling for me picking Auburn to win is because I trust their defense more in this game. And when we're talking about two offenses that There's some legitimate weapons in there. There's reasons to really like the offense. I'm going to lean the defensive side, and so far Auburn has looked like the better defense. With that said, though, I love Texas A&M's offense. They've been super explosive. I think Marcel Reed has looked really good. I think they have certainly answered the question of do they have elite wide receivers or good enough wide receivers on the outside? They certainly do. So I think that there's certainly a way that Texas A&M wins this game at home, no question about it. So I have this one at like a 1.8 out of 5.
I actually feel pretty confident in this game. I don't really see Auburn getting off the mat for it. I don't really know how a Hugh Freeze offense travels into this environment and succeeds. I know that Texas A&M's defense hasn't been out of this world quite yet. I trust Marcel Reed to put up points in this game. I trust Texas A&M's offense. I trust the environment. I have it at a 3.5.
Yeah, I picked A&M earlier in the week off my newfound theory of I'm doubting RPO and check with me offenses on the road. Which that I think in this conference, especially just in this conference, this doesn't really apply to the Big Ten yet. I haven't watched enough of those games on TV to see if these check with me offenses are really doing that much of a difference, home road splits. But yeah, Auburn is one of these. So give me A&M, and I'm riding the theory because of it. 2.25 out of 5. Don't feel great about it. We're testing the waters on this here new theory. It could be dominated by run game and quarterback play, though.
Sure.
You know. So. All right, next football game, Oregon at Penn State. I'm like 75% positive Oregon's winning this football game. The 25% rest on the whiteout and Penn State's run game. Give me a, what's that? What's 75% of 5? 3.75?
Something like that.
3.75 out of 5.
Yeah,
That's quick, Mauve.
I also feel confident in this one. Again, I'm happy coming up in front of this mic and saying James Franklin proved me wrong. It hasn't happened in 9 years.
Don't worry. You'll be one of 9,000 people to get clipped that way.
That's fine. And that is totally fine. James Franklin can have his parade and have his moment if he finally does prove us wrong. Until then, I'm not going to go against you, or I'm not going to go with you. I'm going against you. I have this at a 3.5 Oregon wins.
I hate the fact that we all three feel really confident in this one, but we all have legitimate reasons to feel confident going into this one. I also feel rather confident that Oregon is going to win this game because Oregon's offense has looked way more complete, has looked way more dominant for the first part of the season, whereas Penn State has been a little up and down, inconsistent like a normal Penn State offense has been under Drew Aller. And we know the deal with these games, of big games with James Franklin and specifically Drew Aller. They just haven't panned out well for this team. It just hasn't gone their way. And I know it's a whiteout. I know the environment's going to be great and everything, but I don't know that this is the team that's really going to affect it all that much. So I have Oregon winning this game, and I would have it at like a 4.2 probably. I feel rather confident that the Ducks are going to get it done.
There's a lot of speculation about, or not speculation, it's just raw stats about Oregon's run defense. I'm trying to look up these data points right here. They had 2 bad games against Oklahoma State and Northwestern on the ground. But guys, those 2 football teams got their absolute brains beat in and threw the ball for a collective 41 times in those 2 football games. So they didn't try to throw the ball. They tried to just run their way to get the hell up out of the football game is what it looks like to me. And other teams that tried to play balanced approaches could not run the ball. So I'll be interested to see whether or not this Oregon run defense is as bad as some people say it is.
Yeah.
Which takes me to my final thought. All right, one of my many final thoughts as we enter this weekend of college football. And this is not pointed at anybody. I've been on so many shows this week that have said something along the lines of, well, you know, Alabama's got the best pass defense in all of college football. And my immediate thought was, they haven't played a conference game first and foremost. They've faced 45 attempts when the second most or least amount of attempts is what, 69?
Yeah.
Nice.
So like way fewer attempts than anybody else in the country because they've played a triple option team basically in Gus Malzahn, who never throws it 30 times a football game, never has explosive passing. You see what I'm saying? Like, we contextualize the stats is all I'm asking. And we go into these predictions scenarios early in the year, and guys, people are using data points that are so easily manipulated. Like, for example, Georgia's pass defense is atrocious statistically, right? Awful. 69th in the country. You know why? Because they've played a passing offense with a pulse. They're one of the only teams in the country that have done so because nobody's played anybody. Half these teams in college football have not played a conference opponent. So what are we doing? Why are y'all going into these predictions, going into these situations? And you may be right. You might hit it on the nail because teams got good players and you might end up being right. But like, what are we doing? Why are we using stats this early in the season to be so heavily predictive and feel like we can stand on 10? We can't. I don't stand on 10 on the film. You cannot do that. Sorry.
No, I fully agree. It's kind of the point that I was trying to get at the other night when I was saying how, well, yeah, Alabama has had a lot of success against the pass because, one, teams have not thrown against them, and it also has to do with the opponents that you played. And then also Georgia has not had success against the pass because teams have been forced to throw it against them. Like Marshall went on a little bit of a run passing against them late in that football game. And then obviously Tennessee, they were airing it out because they were struggling to run the ball at times in that game. They were having aired out. That's where they're having the most success, and it was big chunk plays. So I do agree that like very early on in the season, you have to be very careful of how you're using stats and like how much trust you're putting in them of making your prediction.
What other final thought you got?
I don't think Texas A&M is a college football playoff team.
Ooh.
I'm not buying it. I think they've always found ways to squander this. I know the schedule's favorable for it. I also don't think, however, this is the week that they lose that game and people go, Texas A&M was legit. I think Auburn can give them a fight. I think that this can be a type of game that gets kind of ugly for Texas A&M. But I don't personally see the route where Auburn wins this and everyone immediately jumps ship on Texas A&M. I think we see some cracks in the foundation for sure. I think that everyone who's got this, hey, A&M's a college football playoff team this year. You can mark it down, get kind of proven wrong. But I don't think they lose this game. That's my final thought on that.
Mm-hmm. Final thought from me on this Ole Miss LSU game. I think the sole reason why Ole Miss is going to beat LSU this weekend is because I think Trinidad Chambliss is going to be way more effective on third downs than Garrett Nussmeier is. I think that. Listen, I think that Garrett Nussmeier is going to be playing behind schedule quite a bit because that run game has not been effective for them this year. So I think that's going to put you in a lot of third and longs. Therefore, and I also think that Chambliss is going to be more effective on third downs, not because I think that they're just going to be living in 3rd and 2 all day, but because his mobility and his athleticism gives him a second option in any sort of play that they have to where they can pick up a first down if they need to, and he will. He's one of those quarterbacks. So I think that's a big reason why they win this football game.
I think we should coach us up in the middle of the segment. The way he did that, my final thought going into this LSU Ole Miss game, that's the way we need to do these.
Good job,
That way
Bill.
you can clip them.
Way to set the example
Hey,
for us.
my final thought going into this Notre Dame-Arkansas matchup this weekend is the fact that Taylor Green is indeed a one-man band that can have you walking away with an L. All right, he is indeed that good. I think he has the opportunity to prove that to the world this weekend. Is that game on NBC or did ESPN get the rights to that sucker?
God, I think it might even be on C-SPAN.
Whoa. Be careful.
That was disrespectful.
They would never put the
I'm
Irish
sorry.
on C-SPAN.
That was disrespectful. I'm sorry, Notre Dame. Forgive me.
It's got to be on the cock, you know?
Excuse me?
It's got to be on Peacock.
Dude.
We're going to get flagged by the FCC.
Bro, we did that. That's a triple down joke right there.
Oh, I know. I remember the first
It
incident.
caught me very much off guard.
You remember the first incident?
J.O. remembers his first cock.
No, of him.
Dude.
Oh, it's bad when I do it? Jeez.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
No. Time out.
Hey, honest.
Time out.
Hey, Washington's offense will put up points this weekend. That is my final thought as we go into this matchup between the Washington Huskies and those Ohio State Buckeyes, okay? They're going to be sailgating out there in pregame, and they going to score some points. And if they don't, I'm going to come on Sunday's show and say that's the best defense in college football.
My final thought on this Florida State-Virginia game is that the closer we get, the more worried I am for the Seminoles. The fact that this line is so small, the fact that we look back at it, it's like, well, there really wasn't a game where Florida State's gotten pushed. Yeah, they got on Alabama quick and they handled them. We saw and we've kind of assumed that that version of Alabama is not what they should have been. I'm worried for Florida State, especially with this game being on Friday night, where top 25 teams go to die in the ACC, or they always get stretched. I personally, if I'm a Seminole fan, I am worried about this game.
Yeah, that over-under is sneaky, too.
It's weird.
They're expecting a lot of points in that football game. What is up with that? Is there two bad rush defenses or something?
I don't know, dude.
Yeah.
I didn't watching Florida State defensively. I don't think anybody's scoring 38 in that.
They also
conference on
haven't
them.
played anybody, though, outside of Alabama.
I know, but they look menacing on defense.
Mm-hmm.
Defensive line looked stout again, looked pissed off. The number 0, the transfer from Alabama, Bud something. Whew, that dude's sticking, playing with the screws.
Mm-hmm.
So they got good defensive players. I don't understand what the line is there. I'd be taking the under.
Yeah, it's very, very, and also like I know for a fact that Virginia's had success against the run defensively. So
Yeah,
that would kind
what
of
gives.
I don't know.
What's Vegas know that I don't
That's
know?
the whole thing
Something.
about this game, though, is I can't put my finger on it. I don't know what the reasoning is for that one only being -7. I don't know what the reasoning is for thinking it's going to be a shootout. Like, I can't. Now, Virginia's quarterback is playing good. He's played well so far
They got
throughout this
another
season.
young quarterback playing good because
I need his name.
isn't the transfer at UNLV that Dan Mullen has, isn't that kid from Virginia too?
Well, they had
Dan Mullen's got like
maybe.
30 transfers.
Calzada or whatever.
Chandler Morris is the quarterback at Virginia.
Find out where the UNLV quarterback's from. I think he transferred. I think he started like 2 years at Virginia and then transferred over there, if my memory serves me correctly.
That name does sound familiar.
So they've been out here pumping out.
Yeah,
They've been out here pumping out young quarterbacks that can play, huh?
yeah, apparently. Yeah, that one certainly came with my finger on it. I think one of two things happens in this Auburn versus Texas A&M game. I think the environment gives Auburn fits offensively, what you're alluding to, Brooks, of RPO offenses in this type of environment, because it's going to be worse than it was at Oklahoma. There's going to be more fans packed into the stadium. It's going to be loud. They got the 12th man, all that good stuff. So it's either going to give Auburn fits offensively. They're going to struggle to move the ball. It just turns into an absolute crap show. You maybe get a couple turnovers, and the Aggies just roll. Or Auburn wins a very close game. Going back to what I said and what I think might happen in this game, of Auburn's defense is the best unit in this game. They keep Texas A&M's offense from scoring a bunch of points. It's a 2017 football game, and Auburn's the one that ends up victorious in this one. So that's how I see. Like, Auburn's either getting blown out or they're going to win a close game.
You want to hear my Brooks is a hater fact of the day? You want to hear it?
Yeah.
UNLV has 4 wins. They're 4-0. You know this?
Shout out Dan Mullen.
Okay. Their 4 opponents have a combined 1 win. How about that?
Whoa. That's bad football.
It's bad football. It's Idaho State, who was 0-3 heading into last weekend and won their game 90-0.
90.
I saw this.
90-0.
Yeah.
An 0-3 D1 AA team beat another football team. I think it's a team out of Oakland, California, that I've never heard of. 90-0.
Woo.
But yeah, that UNLV squad, a wagon, you know, a real wagon.
Some would say.
I don't think I can put up 90 in a video game right now.
Oh, they put up 42 points in the second quarter.
Whoa.
Yeah. Did the Golden Eagles or whoever Idaho State's mascot is.
It's insane. I've got a final thought on this Tennessee-Mississippi State game.
Mm-hmm.
This will be the game where we walk away saying, hey, maybe we should pump the brakes on Joey Aguilar a little bit, or he's a full-fledged bona fide guy in the SEC.
Yeah.
I've always kind of thought about the theory, and I know that Davis-Wade Stadium is not the most terrifying environment in the SEC. I know that it's not where dreams go to die and all those things. It's an SEC road environment, place that Joey Aguilar has not played at his entire career. It's going to be tough for him. There's going to be some instances and opportunities for him to make mistakes. If he does make those mistakes, I think we all collectively look around and go, okay, maybe he had a really good game against Georgia, and maybe we need to pump the brakes on Heisman winner, first overall pick, top 10 quarterback in college football.
Who's saying the first overall stuff?
I just,
Oh, okay. I didn't know.
I mean, there's been some.
Oh, okay.
You'll probably find it on the Tennessee side, but
Okay.
But no, I think that you either get to pump the brakes on that, or if he balls out, which he absolutely could and has a potential to, I think we walk away saying, okay, this is legit.
My final thought on that Tennessee-Mississippi State football game is there is like a 65% chance that's the best game of the weekend. That game is must-watch television. There is I think that has an opportunity to be LSU Ole Miss like game of the year 53-48 type craziness.
Ooh.
The way those two offenses play, if the defenses cannot find a rhythm, they're going to put it up like basketball teams. I'm telling you. So I'm rooting for that. I know Tennessee fans watching today probably aren't, but like I am rooting for Blake Chafin and Joey Aguilar to stare each other at midfield and throw for 600 apiece. That's what I want.
Little Patrick
And I think
Mahomes,
there's
Baker Mayfield.
Honest to God, I think there's a chance it could happen. I really do think there's a chance.
I hope it
could
does happen. I hope so.
That's my final thought on that one.
Final thought on Penn State, Oregon. It's going to go one of two ways for you, Penn State. You're either going to win this game because Katron Allen and Nick Singleton are the difference makers. How everybody talked about those two coming back to your program this offseason, how big of a deal that was for you guys. That has to happen and show up on the field on Saturday. And if that happens, if those guys are the best two players on the field at all times, then you're going to win that game, in my opinion. If that's how big of a difference maker they are, I think you win this game. But the way you lose this game is exactly what I mentioned earlier of Drew Aller is struggling yet again. He has thrown for 140 yards and has completed 54% of his passes in this game. And then you just lose. Like, that's how you script out these losses, it seems like, for Penn State almost every single time. So either your running backs are going to run you to a win, because I think that's where your offense is at right now. I just think that should be your how we talk about Florida, where you got a great back, you should use them. That's what you guys need to be doing with them, because I think they're your two best weapons offensively, and they're your most reliable weapons offensively. So if you can get those guys going, I think you definitely have a shot on Saturday. But if not, and if your passing game is just anemic to the point where you're having to run the run game because you can't throw the ball, you're going to lose this game to Oregon, and it might get ugly.
Boys, you know what would be primo? Is if you're like, it's Thursday night. I mean, oh my gosh, what if I just like suddenly got Saturday off and I want to drive up to Penn State and go watch this Penn State-Oregon football game? It'd be a pretty expensive affair, you would imagine.
Oh, yeah.
But if you went over to a place like SeatGeek, where you can use a promo code like FilmGuy10, and I'm sharing my screen currently, we can take a look at these screen prices, all right, or ticket prices, right? I'm looking at tickets up in that 216 row right about now for 617, though. I like what I'm seeing right about now over on SeatGeek, all right, for this football game between Penn State and Oregon. It's the biggest game of the weekend, and you can get in on the action today. With over 35 million downloads, SeatGeek is the #1 rated ticketing app. All right, there are more than 70,000 events like this one listed on SeatGeek, including concerts, sports festivals, and much, much more. All right, I love using SeatGeek, as you can tell right here. Maybe not.
It never.
It's all good, buddy. I sprung it on you, if you will. Hey, but again, that promo code today is FilmGuy10 over there on SeatGeek. 10% off any of your ticket purchases. Again, with the promo code FilmGuy10. Yeah, don't sleep on SeatGeek, chat. Don't be
Never
out here
sleep
being
on
a sleeper on SeatGeek. You know what I mean? Shout out to all of our sponsors. Couldn't do it without you guys. Could not do it without you guys. By the way, we will be awarding our first certified ball knower of the week tonight at the end of tonight's broadcast. Boys, do not let me forget that, okay? Do not at all. We got to give some merch out.
Broadcast or this episode?
This broadcast.
National
at the end
hour?
Yeah, let's do it at the end of National Hour. At the end of National Hour, do not let me forget, we're giving out certified ball knower of the week, all right? And we'll get a free piece of merch to our friend. All right, it's the time of the week, Thursday. Unless it doesn't happen, crack a bottle. What do you got for me?
I'm going to completely map out how Florida State loses to Virginia tomorrow. All right?
Talk to me.
The score is going to be 27-20 with less than 4 minutes left in this game. Florida State has the ball. The Hurricanes the Seminoles are going to have 3 straight runs. The third one being it's going to go out of bounds and stop the clock to where Virginia does not have to use a timeout. Virginia is going to get the ball back, march down the field, go for 2, and ultimately win this football game. Virginia wins 28-27. You heard it here first, unless it doesn't happen.
You gotta love it.
Jay, well, you got some Miami on your mind, maybe?
I did have Miami on my mind a little bit, actually.
All right, it's
all
understandable.
good.
It happens to us every now and then.
I mean, sometimes people just get on private jets and fly to Miami when they got some time, you know?
Oh, they do.
Or
you could take your luxurious car.
Or you can take, I wouldn't drive a luxury car all the way down to Miami. I'd probably get a private jet. But you know what? Maybe sign a deal with a jet company.
There's someone that does that, yeah.
Some would say.
Mm-hmm.
Damn.
What do you got for me?
Hucking up shots tonight, aren't
I mean, the head football coach did it. What do you got for me? To ESPN, not in front of thousands here on YouTube. What do you got for me?
Last year, we saw a team head up north, go to a school that they've really never really played at, don't really usually play them, and take down that team in front of their home crowd. I've got the same team coming back and getting it back in blood, as the kids say. Ooh. Give me UMass returning the favor against Missouri this week. You heard it here first, unless it doesn't happen.
What?
You know,
the 43-point dog, UMass. The Fighting Minutemen, if I'm correct.
That's them.
You're taking UMass.
Returning the favor, defending your honor.
I think we've gone a little bit past
Unless it doesn't.
crazy.
I was about to say.
We've gone a little bit past crazy.
I love this segment is great because we get to say our bold takes.
But it's at least an opportunity to maybe one time hit it right.
like, is there even a slight feeling you have that UMass wins that game?
Look, here's what he did, bro. That's worse than buying a lottery ticket, what he just did. He just bought a $5 lottery ticket thinking he's going to be rich. That's the take of a lottery ticket right there. The odds.
This is coming.
The odds are insane.
This is coming from the guy who said that Tennessee would not score a touchdown against the Georgia Bulldogs.
This is true.
Sir,
Only
sir,
for that-
that happened 3 years in a row.
Against Georgia?
I'm pretty sure, not a passing touchdown. 3 years in a row.
You said no touchdown.
I went a little bit further.
See, now
That's crazy. A little bit further. Not like freebasing the spoon like you just did.
I'm on the Kansas Jayhawks spoon.
Well, we know this.
I might be talking about them later in this segment, by the way.
Oh, boy.
What's your unless?
Josh Hoover throws for 375 yards, 3 touchdowns in Tempe, okay? Has all the ladies swooning in Tempe, Arizona on Friday night. Josh Hoover and them Horned Frogs go out there and beat them Sun Devils. You heard it here first, unless it doesn't happen.
I'm actually appalled that you decided to give your take, Kirby. So I must rebuttal. I have to.
What?
I have to.
A rebut?
Earlier in the week, I said that there was going to be some separation in the Heisman race. There's a lot of quarterbacks in the mix for this one. Carson Beck looking good at Miami. Even maybe Thomas Castellanos down at Florida State. He's playing well. Gunnar Stockton is in the race right now as well for Georgia. He has an opportunity to do that against Alabama. A lot of great like Josh Hoover. He's getting some love. Fernando Mendoza getting some love. But you know who's not getting love? But they will be after this weekend.
Who dat?
I'm building. They will be after this weekend, and he will be at the top of the Heisman race after this weekend because he's going to rush for over 170 yards this weekend against UMass. Ahmad Hardy, who already has over 600 rushing yards, he deserves some love, and he's going to earn it this weekend.
Get Hardy, chat.
I missed that
what is going on?
It was right there for you.
It was right there.
It was right there for you.
I'm going to be Hardy watching some Hardy.
Oh. Hey, Trinidad Chambliss leads all football players on Saturday in that LSU Ole Miss game in rushing. You heard it here first. 14 totes, including sacks, 80 total yards, 2 tutties. Give me some Chambliss this weekend.
I like that. We've got some treats for us on tomorrow's slate.
Sweet treats?
We get two ranked teams playing tomorrow. Well, guess what? Neither one of them are surviving. Give me Florida State and TCU losing tomorrow. You heard it here first, unless it doesn't happen.
Oh, my.
What?
Chaos to start the weekend.
A Friday massacre
No.
in the ACC and the Big 12.
Don't love to see that. Don't love to see that at all. What do you got for me, Jay?
All right. This is just, unless it doesn't happen, but I think it might happen, so I want to prepare you for it. Penn State gets walked out of their own building this weekend. I think that all Oregon rolls, dominates to the point where the whiteout just disperses out of this stadium by the fourth quarter. Oregon Ducks dominate Penn State. You heard it here first.
That
unless it
would
doesn't
be
happen.
the absolute story of the weekend for more reasons than anybody could imagine.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Whiteout turns into a blackout. Everyone's drinking after the game.
Oh, Sunday headlines today?
That might have been one.
Don't tempt me. Don't tease me like that with 5
Just
minutes
saying.
left in the show. Don't be out here teasing me with Sunday's headlines today with 5 minutes left of the show, because I'll sit over here the next 5 minutes and cook. And meanwhile, I got some more unless it doesn't happen. Boys, there's a get-back game on the horizon next week for a football team that's got a lot on their plate this weekend. That's the Alabama Crimson Tide. Guess who comes to town next week? The Vanderbilt Commodores. All right, and I bet you them Vanderbilt Commodores, they've been sitting up there, they've been scheming for this we gonna get them again type performance, but guess what? There's a classic, we weren't looking at our opponent this week, classic look-ahead loss on their schedule, and it's them Aggies. And I'm not talking about Texas A&M. I'm talking about Utah State coming to town and walking out of Nashville with a dub. You heard it here first, unless it doesn't happen.
Is this a hate watch unless it doesn't happen?
No. This is a classic SEC watch out. Same program that got beat by Georgia State last year and then turned around and went on their run.
Oh, yeah.
And hey, look, we're looking ahead. We're good enough to look ahead. We're good enough to maybe take 10 minutes of today's practice script and look at what Alabama does. No, you're not. No, you're not. Utah State, big time dub.
Clark Lee becomes a 21-point favorite, and suddenly he don't know how to act.
It's just acting up.
Boys, you see what they got us listed as?
Clark Lee out here acting different.
It would be Vanderbilt to look into the metrics and say, we don't need to do anything this week.
We don't need this.
Do you see the opponent? Do you see what we've done?
Sneaky jab by the Aggies. Watch out.
I just can't believe that. I got clowned for saying UMass would win, and then all of a sudden.
Buddy, I picked like a 17-point dog to win. You picked a 43.5-point dog to win.
23-point underdogs.
You just pushed me on the hook? Is that what you just did?
No, that's 6 points.
Oh, what'd you say? What's
23.
The line? No. The Utah State line's 23. You just went over here and did some Googling?
Yeah.
So my take is half as asinine as yours is what you just told me.
Still pretty asinine.
Okay.
You got any more, Kirby?
I do have one more, actually. We've got a team that's kind of been pushed aside of the playoff predictions, came into the season inside the top 12, thought they had a Heisman contender at quarterback. Turns out, isn't playing too well. The offense is kind of stumbling and sputtering throughout the season. I have a prediction that it doesn't get any better from here. Give me the South Carolina Gamecocks losing to Kentucky. You heard it here first, unless it doesn't happen.
Oof.
I ain't got no more.
You ain't got no more neither?
I done spent the clip.
We have this entire segment right here to do crazy stuff, right? To be out here saying some nonsense and maybe get right.
Mm-hmm.
And not one of us picked the Huskies to upset Ohio State this weekend.
No.
Nobody.
Because that's what it's going to be.
7.5-point home dog. That's what it's going to be. Ain't no guess. That's what it's
ain't no unless it doesn't happen. It's what it's going to be.
I mean, guys, it's right there for you. Who's got the stones?
I mean, I'll do it, but I didn't feel like making that one.
You got 60 seconds. Cook it up.
Ohio State, you're the number one team in the country right now. You had a pretty impressive win against the Texas Longhorns, but guess what? We've seen it already. Arch Manning, fraudulent, not good. Haven't played a single soul after that. I think it was Grambling State and Ohio, both teams without pulses. Guess what? Your first road game of the season against the Washington Huskies, that number one ranking is going down. Ohio State loses to Washington. You heard it here first, unless it doesn't happen.
Sail yeah!
Oh.
Was that good? Did I do good?
Yeah, bro. You're gonna thank me if and when that hits. I don't think it's gonna hit, but if it does,
you know what's gonna happen,
buddy?
now?
You're gonna thank me.
There's gonna be some Ohio State fans that start chirping in my mentions like, "Oh, we're losing this game." Like,
that don't get the bit.
Guys, my boss told me to say that. Please,
bro. You cooked. 60 seconds. You cooked.
I did.
Good job. I think you went a little short, but you left the other team a possession, but it's all good.
Short and sweet. You gotta get to the message sometimes.
Yeah, but sometimes you want to squeeze that last shot. You know, I think that's important. Hey, we got another loaded hour coming up next. It's our local hour. We're going to talk them dogs and them Crimson Tide. Coming up next. See you on the other side.
Welcome into Talk the Dog, the show where we find a bone to pick and a take to give. These are not hot takes. These is dog takes. Can I talk that dog? What's up? You like that? You really like that? Let's shut up and grind some tape.
What is up, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back into the Film Guy Network on what is set to be a loaded local hour. We always say last show, best show. Last hour of the week, best hour of the week right here as we get ready for a massive showdown in Athens between the Alabama Crimson Tide and the Georgia Bulldogs. Got a loaded slate for you. We got a Friday night's mic to reveal. I'll go ahead and tell you off the rip. I'm going down to Central tomorrow. All right, Phoenix City, Alabama. For those of you in Southwest Georgia, also known as Columbus. All right, Columbus and Phoenix City share the border, boys, between Alabama and Georgia down there on the 75 line. Okay, down there on I-75. That's where I will be tomorrow. Reason being, IMG's coming up. So I'm going to watch IMG Academy, who's got, 65 some odd Division I players. We're going to watch that one tomorrow night for Friday Night's Mike. It will be up, ready for upload Saturday morning for you guys. Go ahead and spoil that announcement. We're also going to set the props tonight, courtesy of our friends over there at Sleeper. We got a pressure meter. Who's under more pressure in this football game? We'll talk about it. We'll also take a peek, a little local take a peek. The boys will be heavily featured there. And we'll, of course, give you our final thoughts and rate our prediction on this football game. And it's Thursday, so we're going to give you an unless it doesn't happen. But first, Christian Kirby, you have the floor.
Thank you. All right, so it has come to my attention about a few hours ago, earlier in the day, that there was a post circulating on social media from the University of Georgia's equipment staff. And for those who have not seen the video, we will play it for you now. So, Jay Will, would you mind doing the honors for us, please? That video is, of course, courtesy of UGA football equipment. Now, before we do anything else, I need to put this on. Okay. Let's break down this video a little bit. I don't know if any of you read the caption there, but it said, "Be loud, cause chaos." Now, everyone knows that chaos is spelled C-H-A-O-S. But for this video, there was a K. K-A-O-S.
That's not how you spell chaos.
I know. It's spelled with K. So what does this K mean? So I've done a couple of deep divings here. Did you know that in printers, the cyan, magenta, and yellow black printing, black is signified by the letter K.
Ooh.
In fashion stock codes, because B stands for blue, black is used by a K. K is the 11th number in the alphabet. The number 11. That's what the Georgia Bulldogs are ranked in the AP poll when they played the Cincinnati Bearcats in 2020. Jay, well, would you mind reminding the audience what color jerseys Georgia wore?
Pick me. I know. They wore black.
That's right.
Okay,
they wore
brown
black.
over.
Jay, well, what is the first letter of the head coach of Alabama's name?
Kaylin Debor.
K, you say. K for Kaylin Debor. What do Alabama fans want Kaylin Debor to wear on Saturdays?
A short sleeve black hoodie.
Black.
Stars are aligning.
This is a night game, right? Night games are dark. Dark night. Ooh, dark night. Night with a K. There's that K again. Dark Knight, nickname for Batman. Batman. Alabama versus Georgia. Batman is Nick Chubb's favorite superhero. Nick Chubb, the last Georgia player to score a touchdown against the Alabama Crimson Tide in Sanford Stadium. Stay with me here. Nick Chubb's number, 27. 2 plus 7, that's 9. 9 stands for September. 927. September 27th, the day the Georgia Bulldogs played the Alabama Crimson Tide. I think we all see what's going on here. The UJ equipment staff is telling us that they will be wearing black jerseys on Saturday against the Alabama Crimson Tide.
You heard it here first.
All right, now I'm going to take this off because I don't believe that, but...
I mean, sir. That was well done.
Thank you. I had to do the research on it.
If the UGA equipment staff actually put that much thought into their social
What do you
media
mean?
posts,
He's not making that stuff up. That's all those Easter eggs were laid in there.
I said if.
There was an extra one in there we weren't even allowed to say.
If alluding to if alluding to the fact of perhaps they do you're in the wrong career path if you're able to put that much like coding into one singular 46-second post.
Now, here's my thing. I wouldn't have done that, but the chaos spelling it with a K was very weird, so I had to put emphasis on that. So
What was the song of choice there?
it was the one that's used a lot in All Quiet on the Western Front.
Okay.
Which is a very dark and gritty film. You know, I didn't want to go on that because that felt like more of a reach. I was staying more on the statistical based thing.
Yeah, like 2 + 7 = 9.
Yeah, I wanted
September.
I want to be logical here. So
Nick Chubb
exactly, Nick Chubb
with a K.
You don't spell Nick Chubb with a K. But no, I don't think Georgia's wearing black this go around. But it is fun to theorize, and obviously the equipment staff is having fun with that. So.
They're wearing black. Hey, it would be a surprise if they wore black on Saturday, wouldn't it be?
Yeah, it would be.
You know what else would be a surprise?
What's that?
If I smacked you in the face with Sunday's headlines today.
Oh, what need on the show sheet?
There are
I
worse
cooked them
things to be
up.
smacked in the face with.
I cooked them up. I cooked up some Sunday headlines today. Bulldogs bounce Bama behind blacked out brigade of Bulldogs fans.
Wow. There you go. That's
About
the
that
first
one.
one?
That's the first one.
That's the first one.
How many do you have?
Hey, I'm cooking. I got 4.
Oh, God.
Debor's doubts doubling as dogs dominate.
Man, there you go. We're just going to work our way down the alphabet a little bit.
All the way down. Womack woes worrying well into year 2.
Oh, lost me at the end.
Nah, you lost.
Come on now.
How about this
W's.
one? Gunner. Lock in. Gunner Glaze gets underway.
Oh, my
Dog
God.
signal caller headed to Big Apple.
I thought for sure you were going a different route when you started Googling for that one.
Gunner Glaze.
The Gunner Glaze gets underway. Dog's quarterback favorite for Big Apple.
Hey,
Man.
Look, that might be the most accurate. If he wins this game, he will be the Heisman frontrunner.
Oh, the Gunner Glaze will get underway.
I don't think we need to start calling it the Gunner Glaze, but
Gunner Glaze is a little.
you know,
Man.
I like those. Those are fun. I like the fact that we've basically relegated this segment to just you having fun with it.
Well, no, that's just me loving Parks and Rec. That's what that is.
That's fair.
Yeah.
No, it's fair. It's become more fun. At first, it was just like,
What's he doing?
well, at first, like we were being serious about this and be like, oh, so and so is going to do this, and that's going to be the headline.
Oh, I intentionally started becoming dry headline guy because I knew what he was doing.
Yeah.
And it killed the bit only for him to re-up it again.
Yeah, dude, he's doubled down, and I appreciate it. So this is your segment now. You've
Yeah,
completely
that is
taken over.
yours. That's all you, dude.
My territory.
100%.
Hey, pressure meter, guys. It's a big-time football game this weekend between Alabama and Georgia. A lot of pressure, okay? It feels like a must-win for a lot of reasons for both of these football programs. Let's go down the line. Out of a scale of 1 to 10, 1 being not much pressure at all, 10 being, oh, my God, it's the biggest game of my life. Where's Kirby Smart at on this meter?
Ooh.
I don't want to say a 10 because 10 feels like 10 to me feels like, oh, if you don't win this game, then we're done with you. That it feels like that territory, but it is a very important one because especially how we have talked about this game throughout this week of first time Kirby Smart gets him at home. Georgia feels like they're in a really good position to win this game. If you don't win this one, then you got to go on the road to Alabama next year, and you hope you get that one. And you saw how that one went last year. So I would say it's like an 8. It's a very important one. Like for this matchup's history, this is a very important one for Kirby.
So, for my reference, I put the 2021 National Championship as a 10 because you had never beaten Alabama. It was a national title game. If you lost that, there was basically so much going against you. You hadn't won a national title yet. You were still an unproven coach for the most part. In fact, of being able to win a national title. That said, I think this might be the next step.
All right, before we get to Kaylin Debor on the pressure meter, I want to give out an award. I want to give out our first certified ball knower of the week, awarded to the listener who goes above and beyond to spread the good news that there is a ball knower by way of the Film Guy Network. This is a comment that not only did he comment, he super chubbed with today. This comes from our certified ball knower of the week at WilliaDon679. Boys, this is one of my favorite comments on the channel in recent memory. I want to read this to you. It says, Brooks, I'm a cop and I stay spreading the good news of the Film Guy Network. Not only have I told all of my coworkers, but when I take people to jail, we listen to the Film Guy Network on the way to the clank as a last taste of freedom.
I want to know what that experience is like.
You know, I don't know if I want.
I don't know if he's turning people on to us. You know, like, hey, last memory, this big-headed moron talking college football. Good luck.
Yeah, I was gonna say,
beat the case, my boy.
That might be triggering to be like, man, the only time I heard these guys was when I was getting arrested. F this show, I'm not listening to this anymore.
Hey, if you're listening right now, beat the case, my boy. I believe in you. I believe in you.
We could be the reason, though, while they get off parole, you know?
No, here's how you
they have a clean slate. They work their way back into the community. It's like, I have to because I need access back to the internet and able to watch YouTube because I have to find these guys again.
Here's how the best way to do it. Tell those people that you have apprehended, hey, I'll let you go if you're subscribed to the Film Guy Network.
I don't know if we want to be promoting allowing criminals loose for a free sub. But I do want to promote Willie the Don. Willie the Don 679. Hit me up on Instagram at Brooks Austin BA. It's the only DMs I have open. All right. I probably shouldn't tell everybody that, but every time I do, there's like a new dozen or so requests in there. So yeah, hit me up, Willie the Don. We'll get you shirt size and get you some merch sent to you.
But no,
excited about that moving forward.
Yeah, that'll be fun to see the creative. I mean, that's week one. We're getting that. So there'll be some other things here. But no, before we...
Dang, I know we caught you with 7 pounds of cocaine and it looks like you're facing 20 to 30. But while you're in there, I think they got YouTube.
Yeah.
Wouldn't you like to know why Tennessee lost to Mississippi State?
Going on? You know?
What?
Jailhouse full of ball knowers is crazy. Oh, man.
Hey, shut up. Brooks Austin's on.
Hey, how much pressure is Kaylin Debor?
Before we move on to Kaylin
I didn't even
Debor.
give mine. 6.9 on Kirby.
Nice.
Nice, cool, calm.
Nice. I didn't give mine.
Pressure.
I didn't give mine on
little
Kirby.
pressure, not a lot.
Here's why. I have it as an 8.5, and here's why. The 10 was, you haven't beaten Alabama, you haven't won a national championship, this is your best shot to do it. That was the 10. Here's another one. You've only beaten Alabama once. You lost to them last year. Everyone thought that, hey, Nick Saban's gone. You're going to beat him, Alabama forever now. Lost to them last year. You have a 33-game home win streak riding on the line here. You have ample amounts of recruits coming. There is kind of a sentiment that if you lose this game, if you finally get them at home and you don't win it, you're never going to beat Bama. So that's a high pressure. Now, I know that Kirby Smart doesn't care about narratives. I know that that's not going to be at the front of his mind. I know Georgia can lose this game and still have everything ahead of them. But it's a high-pressure game for Kirby Smart. I have it at 8.5.
Guy comes up to the courthouse and he's like, Judge, do you know the difference between a 3-tech and a wide 9? Because I do. Judge is like, film guy? Yeah, and he's like, yeah. Parole. You know what? Here you go.
So you just had my theory retroactively, just a little shorter. Yeah. We just could have cut out the middleman, like, oh, you're subscribed. You're good to go, dude. You are a ball knower. I trust you.
Yeah.
I could go through the judicial system.
Did we switch over to Kaylin Debor yet?
We are on Kaylin Debor.
Kaylin Debor, I got it at 8.2.
Really?
Yeah, man. I don't think it's real hot out there because they handled the home games. But you come out here and do what you did against Florida State, and they're gonna be sending you.
That's what I was going to.
They're gonna be sending you.
Yeah.
So for that purpose alone, big time pressure for him.
That's what I was going to get at. Is it depends on how you lose this game. If it's a close one, if it's a standard Georgia versus Alabama matchup, you lose by 1 score. I don't think very many people are going to be hot on Kaylin Debor. But if you walk into here and you lose by 21 points or 17 points or something like that, and you get dominated like you did in week 1, then the volume is really going to start turning up down there, in my opinion. But for Kaylin Debor, I'd put it at like a 6. I don't think it's that important for him.
Yeah, the pressure is there to just perform well. I don't even think the pressure is on to win the game. Like we just said, if you come out and you show that you have a pulse and you push Georgia to their limits, people are going to walk away saying, hey, no one beats Georgia in Athens. That's a tough loss. But Alabama seems to have corrected all the wrongs that they have from week 1. Now, that's where the pressure comes in, which in turn lowers the pressure immediately. If you come into this game saying, hey, now again, this isn't what Kaylin Debor is saying, but if the feeling is, hey, as long as we look good, we're going to be fine. You stealing my hat, bro? But no, I have it as a 7 for Kaylin Debor.
Kirby Smart is going to lose this game on purpose. So Kaylin Debor is not fired and Glenn Schumann is not hired at Alabama.
Oh. That's been his operation all along.
It's been a psyop.
Got to win the big one. But all these other ones, might be good for our narrative.
Control the controllables.
Just throw it on the floor?
Hey, control the controllables.
Wow. I worked hard on that.
Bro just spoke like the coach, the special teams coach on Waterboy.
Bro came over, stole the hat, and then threw it on the floor after that. Can you believe the disrespect?
It'll be all right.
Who's the next one? Pressure gauge.
Mike Bobo. I feel like he stay on 10.
Yeah,
He just stay.
depends on who you ask.
Yeah, if you ask a fan on 10, if you ask Kirby Smart, 2.8.
I have,
can I say this? He's probably a top 50 coordinator in the world of football. That makes him a top 25 guy range in college football.
That's pretty fair.
If he for some reason is replaced at Georgia tomorrow, he'll probably get a play calling job somewhere in Power 4 football.
For sure.
And so what? He's not a top 3 guy. He's not Todd Monken, okay? But he's never leaving. He's never leaving the University of Georgia. And by the way, we're going to go see a guy. Y'all all know Jared Curtis is on the way. And we're going to go see a guy tomorrow that I think you might be in the driver's seat for in Jaden Wade because of Mike. So, like, those things make me know he's not under a lot of pressure. But fan bases are fan bases. It's going to be a 9.9 for eternity.
Here's why. This is nothing new for Mike Bobo. You're always going to be under a microscope. Every time the offense doesn't score a touchdown in under 5 plays, there's going to be someone in that stand saying, fire Mike Bobo. Why are we running screens? It's runs up the middle. It's runs up the middle. Mike Bobo's
run up the middle.
This is nothing new for Mike Bobo. There's not that much more pressure than normal. This is a normal Saturday for Mike Bobo. I have it as 6.5.
Georgia scored over 40 points against Tennessee. And there were people complaining about Mike Bobo and saying, well, this is why I don't like Mike Bobo, because of the one drive where they ran it twice and then Dylan Bell gets blown up on a screen. It's like, this is why Mike Bobo sucks. Therefore, you're just never going to please some people. Those people are never going to wake up to what is actually in front of them and realize that maybe that guy isn't a massive problem like you think he is. So realistically, for Mike Bobo, this is probably below a 5. I'll upgrade it to a 6 just because there's going to be outrage no matter what.
That's literally, I think we're literally on the same page there with like, hey, this is nothing new for Mike Bobo.
No. On to Kane Womack. Is that Womack? It's Womack, right?
Tomato.
No, it's a man's name. It's a man's name. It's a family lineage.
Austin. Who cares, dude? Just do the segment.
Kirby
Brooks.
You know?
Brooks.
What do you think about Womack's standings right here? By the way, if they run anybody to the plank mid-season for some reason, it's going to be him.
That's why
they ain't firing Grubb.
Yeah.
I think this is the one that has the most pressure for sure.
I have this at an 8 because if you come out and you get smoked, now obviously Kaylin Debor in turn gets that kind of pressure, but you are the scapegoat in this situation. Kaylin Debor and Ryan Grubb have been together forever. Kane Womack is in trouble if Georgia puts up anything over 30 and they lose this game, simply because that's kind of where the attention has been drawn as of late, the negative attention
Especially if it's like multiple explosives late.
Yeah.
If it's multiple explosives late, Georgia wins 38-10, 38-17. I'm not saying they're going to walk somebody to the plank this week, but they will after the next loss. They will walk someone to the plank out there at that program. We're 19 months in at that point. We're a season and a half, and it's not looking good. You got losses that you shouldn't be able to. You should be able to explain, but you can't. That's when guys start getting fired. I don't think it's time to be firing the head football coach, but if it continues to look ugly on the road, we got it. Somebody's got to go. I got it at an 8.3 for Womack for that purpose. All right, let's talk about the quarterbacks. Gunnar Stockton. How much pressure is Stockton under?
I have it at like a 7.
Dude, you and me are on the same page.
I have it at a 7 because of everything that this game means to these fan bases, but specifically Georgia. And what we've also learned is that fans are quick to forget what has happened previously with players. Like all it takes is one performance where maybe you didn't look your best, and then people are quick to forget. So not saying that's going to happen for Gunnar, but I'm just saying like entering this game, like you better play your best, your absolute best, because that's what fans are hoping and expecting you to do this weekend. So for him, I think it is about a 7, just because, and what he does on Saturday is going to play a massive role into whether or not Georgia wins or loses this game.
I don't even think the pressure is high because of the outcome potential. I think the pressure is high just for this moment. This team hasn't beaten Alabama in that stadium in more than 20 years. You can be the guy to end that. You have Heisman Trophy, front runner position on the line here for that. And I know that Gunnar Stockton doesn't necessarily care about all that. He's a gamer. The sheer moment that this game will bring you and the pressure that comes with that, I think, is so high it's at a 7. The outcomes of it be damned if you lose, people are going to be out on you. That's a given. But I think that just the build up to this is what makes it so important for Gunnar Stockton.
You said the things that could come to you with success in this football game. Is that what you mentioned?
Yeah.
I don't know if this – I think the national attention that comes with a big-time win and a big-time performance would actually be more pressure in the aftermath for Gunnar than a young kid who is seeking that stuff. You see what I'm saying?
No, I totally agree with you.
Like a kid that's going into this football game going, this is my time to shine. I got an opportunity to make my name known nationally. Oh, my God, I'm going to go out here and ball. That kid's got a lot of pressure on him. I don't know if Gunnar ever thinks like that. I don't think he ever operates like that. In fact, I think it's the opposite. If and when he does ball out, the idea that he can't really go to class anymore without somebody saying something to him, that's the type of stuff that pressurizes him, I think.
This is true because in an interview he did, he talked about where his team was having to force him to try and get NIL deals. Because he was like,
I'm surprised he's even got a team.
He's like, who cares? Well, he was like,
that's a funny way of saying mom and dad.
Well, he was like, people are having to tell me like, hey, we need to actually go out there and show our face. We need to actually be doing things. We need to be active about this. And Gunnar at first was like, whatever.
I just want to play football.
Heck, man, I just want to play football.
I guess I'll go take some pictures with Armor Reserve. But like he does, like it's like he's not even aware of that. It doesn't even cross his mind of things like that.
Yeah, I would imagine his team was probably like, hey, man, we don't know how long we're going to be Gunnar Stockton. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So, yeah, you kind of have to maximize these opportunities when you get. So, yeah, go take your Ford F-250 out into the pasture, and we'll get somebody to film you doing it. You and Daddy can go out there and rope some cattle. Calf?
Yeah, and don't you dare call them dairy cows. They're beef cows.
They're beef cows.
Beef cows.
Head of cattle?
Yep.
You know how many a head of cattle is?
Mm-hmm.
One head of cattle. 2 head of cattle. 3 head of cattle. 4.
Okay, Dr. Seuss.
Ty Simpson. How much? 6.5 for me, by the way.
Okay.
How much pressure is Ty Simpson under?
The weird thing is for all of the negativity that's been thrown around this Alabama program for this season alone, it seems like Ty Simpson has kind of been avoided all of that. We talked about the effort on defense. That was abhorrent. That all went there. Kaylin Debor on the road, all of that. Ty Simpson has kind of been the silver lining of this season, at least. It's been, hey, Ty Simpson's been the hottest quarterback in college football for the last 3 weeks. He hasn't had but more than 5 incompletions in his last 2 games. All of that. That said, there is pressure coming into that simply because of the moment and the crowd that you're going to have to deal with and all of those things. But I don't know necessarily that Ty Simpson was under pressure before he came into this game. I have it as an 8. Simply because of what that environment's going to be and how hard it is going to be to operate that offense. But
so I wrote this down as a 7.9, but the more and more I think about it and the more and more I remember all of my analysis this week, I think this game's on him. Like, I think their only chance to win this football game is if he goes nuts. If he goes 385 plus, like 370 plus, he's got to go out and throw for a lot of yardage. I think it's the only way they put up enough points and move the ball enough to win this football game. So I'm going to put it at like a 8.9.
I have it at a 9. I have it at a 9.
Yeah.
Because of what you're saying of he's going to have to lead this offense and will this offense to a win. Like that's their path to victory is Ty Simpson just playing out of his mind. There's also pressure because I know they played on the road at Florida State, but this is a night game in the SEC, your first SEC road start of your career. I don't know if we ever got the numbers on that, but probably not good historically of a guy making his first start on the road in the SEC. It's a night game in Athens. And the thing is, too, like, Georgia fans don't get many of these. Georgia is not one of these schools that every season they're going to know for a fact they're going to get 2 or 3 night games. And they might be against Marshall. It might be against Charlotte in late November. No, there is no guarantee for Georgia to ever get night games. So when they do get them, they really like to make those games count. And so this is like an extra
motivating factor.
Extra motivating factor for these fans. So I think that there's a lot of pressure in the sense of what you're walking into and knowing what you have to do if you're going to lead Alabama to a win. And let's not forget, too, like history says that Alabama quarterbacks dominate or play really well against Georgia. That's what the history says in this matchup, at least since 2017. So you got to kind of continue that trend if you want to win this game.
All right, boys. Excuse me. All right, boys, we got some super chubs to acknowledge on tonight's show. I want to go ahead and go over to the board and write these names down. My man, Jamad, spelled Jawga. I don't remember writing that one on the board at any moment. So let's make sure he's up there. It says, do y'all have any insight on how boosters and alumni think about coaches / programs, like what really matters to them? Is it being an NFL pipeline but not winning the big game? Is it winning the big game but breaking the bank? I think all boosters care about is access and winning. And it depends on the booster that you talk to of which one matters most, to be honest with you. Mm-hmm. I think boosters really care if they have a winning football program that they can tell their friends they help win. That's what I think boosters care most about. And they can tell their buddies, hey, look how close I am to Alabama's practice. Look how close I am to Georgia's practice. Or they just love the program that much, right? It might not be something that, is egotistic or whatever I just explained. But there's that. Let's scroll down here. We got my man D Wills. So I just want to say, love the show, the most real show out there. Keep up the grind, boys. And my man Elijah, super chubbed without a message, but just wants his name on the board. So let's take care of these. Boys, continue with whatever you want to continue with.
I was going to say, what segment were we on here?
I think we're moving into a different segment, I believe.
But no, I think that the pressure gauge for Ty Simpson does revolve around the fact that it's going to be mostly on him. I think that he's probably, out of any player on both sides, is going to be, hey, you're going to win or lose depending on what you do in this game. Gunnar Stockton doesn't have that kind of pressure. Georgia is going to want to run the ball to success here. It doesn't necessarily require Gunnar Stockton taking over in a game like he did against Tennessee.
Yeah, I think that because, we walked into this season and said if Gunnar Stockton averages 240 or 250 passing yards a game, Georgia's going to be in really good shape. Now, he's exceeded that in his first road start in the SEC against Tennessee, and he showed that what his ceiling probably is. But I don't know if that's definitely not what the expectation should be for Gunnar Stockton every single weekend. It shouldn't be, well, Gunnar didn't throw for 300 yards, or they weren't airing it, he wasn't doing all, the baseline for Gunnar should be if he throws for 250 yards and he completes 68% of his passes, then Georgia had a good day on offense more than likely.
Now we've got people in chat saying that they've been arrested before and they had the film guy played for them while they were being taken.
Dubious of such claims. Very dubious. Can you get Let's View ready, just so we can get ready for the sleeper selection if and when we get there? That's probably on me for not doing that previously to the show. So my apologies on that. But let's get into it. Let's try to set the props. So do y'all want to take a peek?
We'll take a peek.
Let's take a peek first. Go ahead. What are y'all peeking at? I gave y'all my list of 10 things that I felt would most impact the outcome of this football game last night. What are you guys watching most closely?
I'm going to pay attention to the weather in this game. And I know that's cliche and that has virtually nothing to do with what happens on the field. If that field's wet, if it's raining a little bit, it changes things offensively for both sides of the football. And again, I think that advantage goes to Georgia there. They've proven that they're a better running football team. Alabama hasn't necessarily been able to run the ball as well. So that's going to be a big factor to pay attention to in this game.
I'm going to be paying attention to Georgia's second cornerback. Dalen Everett has been playing well throughout the season, so much so that nobody's really even talking about him. I think it's even kind of been brushed over that he's returned and has been playing really good for Georgia. So it's been about all the other guys that have been substituting in. So whether it's Ellis Robinson, whether it's Daniel Harris, or if you see DeMello Jones, whoever is in, that's who I'm going to be paying attention to, because what we have learned is that's the guy that's going to be picked on more than likely. If they're going to take a deep shot, it's going to be on one of those guys. So if those guys can step up early and show that the Tennessee game was just a fluke, that they can actually do this, they can play the ball in the air, and they can be comfortable, I think that certainly switches a vibe for Georgia's defense in that secondary. So that's one of the top things I'll be paying attention to.
Chat wants to know, does anyone know Gunner's hand size? I would say his hands are thicker than they are big. That makes sense.
Does make sense.
Yep. What else y'all watching? Taking a peek.
I want to mention this because I feel like we've gone the entire week without mentioning this player, and he was a major talking point heading into the Tennessee game. I think that this might be the game where you see a lot of flash from him. Elijah Griffin. I think that it's not like he hasn't been mentioned this week because he played bad against Tennessee or anything like that. It's just because there's been a lot of other things that people are focusing on, like the secondary. But I think that knowing what Alabama's offensive line has looked like so far and the fact that I think Georgia is going to be able to get some pressure against him this weekend, I think Elijah Griffin could be an X factor in this one. And maybe he's not the guy that leads the team in sacks by the end of Saturday, but he might be one of the biggest disruptors in this game.
I'm paying attention to Zachariah Branch, where he is on the field, what Georgia does to get the ball in his hands, how they align him, because I think that he's been a very big emphasis for Georgia thus far, understandably so. He'll be just as big of an emphasis for Alabama's defense. I want to see what Georgia's doing with him, where they're putting him in the slot, if they're putting him out wide, if they're putting him anywhere else, how Alabama is defending that the same way. I think that will kind of be the puzzle piece to not only how Georgia's offense rolls, but how things get set up for Georgia's offense as well.
Alabama's success on first down. Alabama hasn't shown the ability to run the ball effectively, and Georgia's defense has shown the ability to stop the run. So if Alabama is only picking up a yard or nothing on first down and they're in 2nd and 10, and then that turns into 3rd and 10 or 3rd and 8 or 3rd and long consistently in this game, I think that's a recipe for disaster, because if you want to allow Georgia to rush the passer, those are the situations where it's going to happen, where Chris Cole's able to tee off and he's just able to get to Simpson within the blink of an eye. So if Alabama is constantly living in these 3rd and longs because they aren't effective at running the ball on first down, or they aren't effective running the ball on 2nd and 6, I think that could be I think that'll be very telling how this result ends up being in this game. But that's the recipe for Alabama's offense.
I'm going to be paying attention to these Georgia safeties. We came into this 2025 season saying, hey, there's some question marks here. They lost 2 starters, 2 NFL starters last year. What does that room look like? I think what they do in this game is going to be very important. We've already seen that they've been gettable. They had a handful of moments against Tennessee where they had bad eye discipline, where they got beat on some double moves. I think we also saw games in Marshall and Austin Peay where they are susceptible to certain things. So what they do in this game is going to be very important and dictate whether or not Georgia is able to consistently stop the pass.
This is an idea that I'm really just floating out there, and maybe it happens or maybe it doesn't. But do we see more of Jonel Aguero at safety? Do we see any more of that this weekend? They showed it a little bit during Tennessee.
Were we the only ones who saw that?
I
know Alabama saw it. Were we the only ones that saw that?
I think so.
Might have been.
You know how I know we were? He didn't get asked about it.
That's a very good point. So do we see more of that this weekend? Did Georgia see enough on Saturday or against Tennessee where they feel like that is a winnable personnel for them? Just curious to see if they keep rocking with that every now and then.
I'm going to pay attention to Tim Keenan. What does he look like? He's coming back from an injury. He's expected to play in this game. We've talked about it, though. You get that tightrope surgery. You're not 100% your first game back. What is his pain tolerance at? How much is he able to dictate and change what Georgia's able to do on the interior offensive line? That's going to be a major catalyst for this game. It's going to be something I'm watching very thoroughly.
The final thing that I'll be watching this Saturday is, can Georgia get over their red zone struggles? I really don't know if I want to call it red zone struggles, but there's just moments in a game where it feels like it's really hard for them to score down in the red zone, and it is. That's because if you get inside the 10-yard line, it's really hard to score touchdowns. But there are multiple times in the Tennessee game where they failed to get into the end zone, and it's also shown up earlier in the year. Against this team, against Alabama, you got to get those touchdowns when you're able to. We can't be settling for 3 constantly. So if that is continuing to be a theme for Georgia's offense, that might be a little concerning. So if Georgia's able to get into the end zone consistently when they're down in the red zone, their chances of winning certainly increase, in my opinion.
I guess chat's debating overall speed between Ryan Williams and Zachariah Branch.
Different speeds, in my opinion.
Different types of speeds.
Ball knower. My God, son. So impressive. Very different speeds. Long speed and short area quickness. Zachariah Branch is faster in the 5.10.5. Ryan Williams is going to get him in a 40 and probably in a 100. Yeah,
there you go.
One's a world-class track guy, by the way. Ryan Williams, I look him up on TrackNet. I think that guy's like a 10.6 high school kid out of Saraland. That dude can burn. And then Zachariah Branch, I don't know if he ran track in high school, but it doesn't matter. He's going to run 4.39 at the combine instead of 4.36.
Looks like he ran a 10.93.
Yeah, and probably won state doing so. Anyways.
I've got 2 more things that I'm watching.
Keep feeding.
First one, or the second to last one I have, is the running backs when they are being tackled. We've seen in the past Georgia has some issues with fumbling the football at the running back position. We're all pretty much under the assumption that it's going to be a wet field, at least. It might not be raining. It might not be actively pouring. The ball will not be bone dry in this game. I'm going to be paying attention to how well they take care of the football, especially in those crowded situations. Definitely something to pay attention to. I don't think if you're Georgia, you can afford a fumble or two in this game. My final one I'm going to be paying attention to, Mike Bobo's play calling, especially in the first quarter. I feel like a lot of times last year, the Georgia offense and the play calling was kind of dictated around, hey, we're going to see what this defense is giving us and act accordingly. It's what probably led to all those slow starts. We've seen a different approach this game. We saw last week, 2 weeks ago, when they played Tennessee, hey, we're taking a seam shot because we've got one-on-one coverage right now. We're doing things like that. I want to see if Mike Bobo comes out in this game and he says, hey, we're going to try to bomb these guys and get some points all on the board quickly. We're going to see what the defense is giving us and adjust over time. And that
Love
is
it.
all.
You good, J-Will?
I'm good.
All right, let's give a quick shout to our friends over at Sleeper. We've already given the read. Let's do the segment here, boys. All right, so here's what we're going to do. All right, we're going to set these props, meaning we're going to go through each of these individual players, ask you what you think the line should be, and then we're going to see what the value is and see if we can find something that we unanimously love over on Sleeper. Okay?
I like that idea.
Let's give a real concerted effort to try to get a big hit for our listeners today over on Sleeper using promo code Brooks. All right, let's start. First and foremost, as I share my screen, guys, I love this feature that they have up here at the top. You see this rolling score sheet we got up here at the top? You go up here and just scroll over to Georgia and UGA, or Bama and UGA, and now all of a sudden we have all of those props available. Let's go straight to passing yards. And boys, I don't want you to look at the screen. Okay, I don't want you to cheat. I want you to give me your honest opinion of what this market should be, and then we'll find the value, okay?
Right.
Starting with Gunnar Stockton. What do you think his over-under should ultimately be set at, boys?
For what?
For passing yards. My apologies. Passing yards for Gunnar Stockton.
Like 260.
I was going to go 250, 245 in that range.
My number was 240. Okay, so 240, 255, 260. Boys, the line on Sleeper right now is 216.5.
Oh, take it.
Ooh,
So we're going to we like the over there.
I like the over there.
All right, let's move on to Ty Simpson. Okay, Ty Simpson coming in, one of the hottest quarterbacks in college football, finished 5th in my QB rankings in the SEC alone. What do you think Ty Simpson's market should be at? I set it at 285.
I was going to say 280.
It's got to be pushing 300 because simply that's how you're going to have to beat Georgia. I don't think you're running the ball to the success.
How about 262.5 for Ty Simpson in this football game? I'm telling you right now, if Ty Simpson throws for 260 yards, Georgia held Alabama to under 400 yards total offense.
For sure.
They did. I like the over there, honestly, as well. Let's go ahead and reserve it for right now. Let's move on to rushing yards, boys. I got one guy that I think we should talk about here tonight with regards to rushing yards because we don't know what Jam Miller is going to be. I don't even think his availability. I don't think he's available on Sleeper right here. So let's talk about Nate Frazier, boys. What do you think the Nate Frazier market should be set at with regards to rushing yards?
The Georgia running back market is so weird, and it's gotten weird because they added another body in last week.
With McCray,
With McCray. I think that you're probably going to see 50 from Nate Frazier because they split it up so much. They've got 4 ball carriers back there now. Chauncey Bowens has been really good from Dwight Phillips has kind of been the seam gasher guy. And now, obviously, Josh McCray seems to be your third and short goal line running back. I don't think Nate Frazier's going to rush for 100 yards.
I set the market at 48 personally.
Okay, so 50 and 40.
I was going to say like 62.
So we're kind of in the range. Guys, the line's 56.5. I don't think we should play with this.
I wouldn't either. I
think we should stay away from this. Also, like, there's a chance he is 12 for 48. There's also a chance he's 12 for 78. Because we know Bama can stack gaps every once in a while defensively, and one spits out all of a sudden, and then boom, your under's done cashed. Let's move on to receiving yards, boys. What do you think Jeremy Bernard's over-under is currently set at?
Imagine that's set somewhere in the high 60s.
I was going to go 71.
I think it's going to be around 8 for 72. I think it's going to be somewhere around 8 for 72. Now, the market as you can see, the audience can see, you guys can't. The market's not going to allow us to do combination plays. But the market currently for Jeremy Bernard is, I believe, set at 59.5.
Seems pretty favorable.
I like the over if I didn't have Simpsons already in play right there.
So you can't stack those.
You cannot. Just like you cannot stack Zachariah Branch. But let's give the audience our opinion here. What do you think his market should be set at? Because I think it should be very similar to Jeremy's. Yeah. Somewhere around that 70 range.
Zachariah Branch should be around 70. They're going to try to get him 7-8 touches in this game.
What if I told you it's set at 47.5?
Whoa. I would take that in a heartbeat.
Take that.
I'll take it in a heartbeat.
I like that as well.
I
but
feel better about
unfortunately,
that.
we can't play the.
I feel better about
Do you?
that than Gunner Stockton.
Then Gunner, should we go back and take Gunners off and do Zachariah Branch?
Yeah, because the realistic thing is there's an avenue here where Georgia just runs the football all game long, and Gunner Stockton only has to throw for 200 yards. But if they're throwing the ball, there's a heavy chance that those passes are developed for Zachariah Branch.
I like this because you're right. If the Gunner Stockton over hits, the Zachariah Branch over is going to hit.
Correct.
That's a good gambling play right there, Kirby. Let's move on to the Ryan Williams receiving market, guys. We can't play the combination. We took the over on Ty Simpson, which, by the way, I think is the best play we have going right now. Let's talk about this Ryan Williams market. What do you think it should be set at? It's a DMP for me. It's a do not play. All right, because we could be 2 for 35. We could be 2 for 90. It could be all over the place here with him.
Is he
a lot of variance?
Is it fair to say that he's kind of like a George Pickens?
No, because I heard this stat today. Did you know amongst all Power 4 receivers, he is number 1 in drop rate?
Really?
Yeah, in contested drop rate, he has the worst stats in college football the last 16 games.
Did not know that.
Did not know
Yeah,
that.
and that was something you could never associate with George. That dude never drops the football.
That's true. That dude has some of the best hands I've ever seen. I would probably say that Ryan Williams is around the 53 range.
So markets tend to favor the name. His is going to be higher than Jeremy Bernard's. I'm going at like 65, 70.
62.5. It's, again, a DMP for me.
Yeah,
Now,
I'm not touching that.
Yeah, I'm not either. Something I do want to get up in is this anytime touchdown. Because you know me, I love when you punch it into the end zone.
Good save.
Good choice of words.
Give me Juan Gaston anytime touchdown.
Juan Gaston.
Juan
No,
Gaston?
I'm just kidding. How about
you know?
Josh McCray? I think this is the safest bet.
Is he on there?
He is.
I
Half
like
a
that
touchdown.
one.
Georgia
anytime tutty, Josh McCray.
If Georgia gets it within the 5-yard line, Josh McCray. It's like betting David Montgomery an anytime touchdown in a Detroit Lions game because anytime he gets tackled within the 5-yard line, David Montgomery getting the ball 3 times.
You know what? I'm feeling frisky. Let's put 20 on it for a 9.13 payout.
Whoa.
Book it. That thing is hitting this week.
9.13.
Times 20? What is it?
Oh, you put 9. Okay. Times 9.13. Okay. I thought you said 9.13K. I was like, dang.
Yeah. I'm out here dropping 9,300K on a 6-leg
Sir.
parlay.
I was like, this.
Will A says, Brooks, I don't have Insta. Can I email you? Yes, I will put it in the chat.
Not to circle back on some conversations that we were having, but someone mentioned the chat, so I want to see it for myself.
What up, chat?
Zachariah Branch ran a 10.33 in the 100-meter.
That's insane. Maybe Zachariah Branch is faster.
That is wild.
Whoa.
Game speed, though. Oh, man. Woof. They both can burn.
Yeah.
that?
For sure.
How about that?
They don't have to. Here's the thing. It doesn't matter if Zachariah Branch is faster than Ryan Williams. All that matters is if Zachariah Branch is faster than the DBs. It's the same.
Big facts.
Well, it's the same thing we do with the positional breakdowns. Who cares if Zachariah Branch is faster than Ryan Williams? He's not racing Ryan Williams.
Here, I'll settle it. They would both beat me in a race.
I don't know, Jay.
That was a burning question. Everybody was curious.
How fast are they? Faster than me.
That's primo journalism.
They are faster than me. I can confirm that. We don't even have to do a test. They are faster
Who,
than
what,
me.
when, where, and why. And how.
I'll happily do it. For the sake of research.
Film guy combine.
We'll bring back sports science.
No thanks.
If that was a full metric scoring system, I think I'll smoke y'all in a film guy combine.
You think so?
Yeah. I mean, obviously, you'd get me in the 40. I think I can outrun Jay Will.
You think?
I think so.
You've never seen me cut it loose, baby.
Nor have you I think I said that.
Correct?
correctly.
Dude, are we about to get a J. Will versus Brooks race at some point?
I mean,
This is the new challenge.
You know what I love about Jay Will? He is a man. If I challenged him to something like that, he'd do it. Even if he questioned himself.
Look out,
Even if
Murray.
he didn't think he would do it. And you know what? It would look bad. A former basketball player getting beat by a former offensive lineman. It would look really, really bad. But at least if I challenged his merit, at least if I challenged his manhood, he'd show up.
All right. Next walk and talk. We're going to bucket down the sidelines in a race. A true 40-yard dash.
Oh, my God.
I mean, at least you're not a coward.
I try not to be.
Honestly, though, if we do all three get credentials to Mississippi State,
Line it up.
line them up.
If we get told don't come back, okay. Yeah.
Just kidding. We love Starkville. We
I
love
am
the
excited
Bulldogs.
if I get to go to see that stadium.
I'm just joking.
I love checking off
It's
new
all jokes
stadiums.
and kids. It's a Thursday afternoon on this show. It's Thursday night.
Afternoon.
It's a Thursday night on this show. It gets a little crazy. Thank you, Hunter Lacey, in the chat. Thank you. Finally, somebody realized.
Oh,
was
I think
taking
everyone
digs.
knew what you were doing.
Everybody knew what I was doing?
Everyone knew.
You guys played like sometimes we got to smack them in the face with the joke. You know?
I said,
Murray.
look out, Aaron.
Murray. Congrats on 30K, by the way. Have y'all? Mac's doing a good job. Murray and Mac are doing a really, really good job.
Good for them.
I like the style. I'm not gonna lie to you. I like what they're doing over there.
That's awesome.
Anyways, where we at?
We have
Y'all done taking a peek?
Unless It Doesn't
Yes.
Happen or Final Thoughts, which I figure final thoughts are saved for the final segment of the show. So I think we have Unless It Doesn't Happen.
All right. Unless it doesn't happen.
What you got, Brooks?
Georgia holds Bama to less than 50 yards rushing in this football game. You heard it here first. Unless it doesn't happen. Under 50. I'm talking about 26 for 42.
Really?
Sheesh.
How
Sacks
many
included.
How many? Yeah, I was gonna say how many sacks?
3.5.
Okay.
Well, that's impossible. 3.
Yeah, say half sacks are not a stat for teams.
All right. Alabama scores first, but Georgia holds a 10-point lead going into halftime. You heard it here first, unless it doesn't happen.
I like that one. All right, here's another bold one for you. I don't know who's gonna do it. I don't know which team it will be, but on the first play of scrimmage, we are getting a touchdown. Whether it's Alabama's offense, Georgia's defense, Georgia's offense, or Alabama's defense, the first offensive play of scrimmage will result in 6 points. You heard it here first, unless it
I
doesn't
love the
happen.
idea of starting a prediction with,
Don't know who.
I don't know who.
That's
I don't know which team. I don't know
when.
how. But
bro. First play touchdown odds would be astronomically high anywhere.
yeah, I mean, could you imagine that dude that had first play was a safety in the Super Bowl when the Broncos and Seahawks played? Somebody had that. And it paid out like $20 for like 200,000.
Exactly. Stuff like that.
Go put it on. Somebody ought to give you that. What do you got for me, Joe?
Chauncey Bowens has a breakout in the second half. I think he wills his way to over 200 yards and becomes the MVP of the game. I like me a physical runner like Chauncey in the second half of one of these styles of games. I think he's just going to be running over folks, breaking tackles, picking up 4 or 5 yards every carry. I like Chauncey Bowens having a big-time breakout game in this one. You heard it here first, unless it doesn't happen.
I'm going to keep hammering this one until it happens at some point because it inevitably will happen. Gunnar Stockton carries the football a lot. He's a football player. He's been told, hey, Gunnar, maybe we should start sliding when the defenders get near you. We don't need you getting hurt. I think at some point in the season, and it will be this game, he's going to go, F that. I'm trucking this dude. Gunnar Stockton is catching a body on Saturday. You heard it here first, unless it doesn't happen.
Who's the body? Call him out.
I don't know.
Call him out. Little white on white crime?
Whoa.
Gunner versus Bray?
The only colors
You don't think Gunner's not standing there under center? And he's going, where's my guy? Where's my... Oh, there he is. That's it.
like in the Water Boy?
Yeah.
Yeah, just like the Water Boy.
No.
Hey, first conference game of the year for Alabama. Can't hold anything back. Can't hold anything back. What do you got for me? I'm saving my last one.
Okay. Dalen Everett is a defensive star in this game. I think people walk away from this game the most impressed with him. When they talk about Georgia's defense, they're going to say, man, Dalen Everett had a heck of a game. That was a difference maker for them. I think he's in for one of those games. He had multiple of them last year. I think he's due for one.
You heard it here first.
You heard it here first, unless it doesn't happen.
You're right. You're right.
I'm out of unless it
You're
doesn't happen.
out.
You dumped the clip?
Yeah.
That's unfortunate.
All right, here you go. I know, been showing a lot of love to Alabama fans to Georgia, but listen up. This one's for you. Ryan Williams goes quiet, but Jeremy Bernard goes for over 100 yards.
Ooh.
You heard it here first, unless it doesn't happen.
Watching a lot of tape lately, boys.
Mm-hmm.
Watching a lot of tape, as I normally do. And I've been watching this Alabama defense, boys, and they look rock solid on paper the last 2 football games. Rock solid. You turn that tape on, though, couple misalignments, couple we ain't set yet, couple we're looking to the sideline to get our defensive call. Oh, crap, Wisconsin's snapping the football. You heard it here first. Georgia smacks them in the face with whether it be a personnel trick or some type of disguise. Georgia, big-time explosive off Alabama's defense not paying attention.
I like this. This isn't educated unless it doesn't happen.
Hey, I'm not going to just huck up a shot. This is actually something that could very, very well happen. I like this. Perhaps the most reasonable unless it doesn't happen.
A little base, but okay.
We've had in this entire 2-hour show.
Final thoughts. What do you got for me, boys? I got one for you. This football game for me, and I know the chat that is remaining in this show tonight on a Thursday night where you got plenty of choices. I know you chose this here Dog Talk and this here Crimson Tide Talk. So I know you know how I feel and you feel the exact same way. This football game, when these two football teams match up anywhere other than the national championship with the whole title on the line, I feel as if the winner is automatically my favorite to meet up in Atlanta and ultimately win the SEC championship game. That's the way I feel. When these two football teams and these two programs face off, even in 2025, even though Nick Saban's gone, whatever you want to say, the winner of this football game, I will come on this network Sunday afternoon and go, they got a chance to win the national title. That is a real football program. That is the way I feel about this game. And when these teams match up, I'll always feel that way.
I think that for this football game, it just kind of really boils down to a lot of things. But more specifically, I think you look at the two quarterbacks first. Because you talk about Alabama's offense, what they're going to have to do to win this game. It's going to take Ty Simpson having a really good day. On the flip side, it's also going to take Georgia to win this game. Georgia's secondary has to play better than they did against Tennessee. You can't be giving up multiple explosives that lead to immediate touchdowns like you did against Tennessee. I know you're at home, and I know you ultimately won that game, but it took a lot of things to happen for you to win that football game. Don't put yourself in that same position. For Gunner, not as much pressure as there is on Ty Simpson, but there's some pressure in that you got to deliver again, man. This is going to be a game where you need to create some explosives in the passing game. You need to step up in some big moments. Probably going to have to take some hits like you did against Tennessee, but you can also probably get the run game going a little bit, and you can alleviate yourself in that regard. And I think, too, like, one of the reasons why Gunner had to throw for 300 yards against Tennessee is because you were down 14 points in the first half. So you had to get back into the game. You had to do it by throwing the ball. And then in the second half, when it was close enough, then you were pounding the rock. So then I think the run game is going to be a big indicator for this game because Alabama hasn't shown a whole lot of success on the ground. But Jam Miller comes back, so maybe that adds a wrinkle for them. Maybe they're able to find some success there. For Georgia, you've ran the ball successfully, but if you're not able to in this game, you might be in some trouble. So I think that both of those things to both quarterbacks and also going into the run game for both of these teams, that's really like the two biggest things that I'm going to be keeping an eye on. But most importantly, man, Georgia fans better be the most raucous environment of Sanford Stadium history. Louder than it was for Tennessee in 2022. Like, this is the one you've been waiting on. This is the one that you've been hoping and praying for. A night game against Alabama, primetime football, potential blackout. Like, we get all sorts of bells and whistles added to Sanford Stadium as well for this. Like, this better be the best environment Athens has ever seen. I don't care what happens. You better be there for all four quarters, and you better shout the entire time.
Speaking of the best environment, them folks at Army are learning a little something about my Pirates right about now. Swing your sword, Pirates. Swing your sword. Sorry. Go ahead.
Where did that come from?
This is the local hour, dude.
I know, but I got to show some love to my Pirates. Come on now.
You've adopted like 9 teams at this point.
Don't worry about it. I'm for sale.
He's got half.
I'm for sale.
He's got half the big.
There's never any doubts about it.
Half the Big 12.
Never any doubts about it. You send it, I wear it.
That's fair. I do like free clothes.
Where did I get the sword from? The back of the shot. It's been there for years. Where you been?
I think they want to know the origins of the sword.
Oh, you're a legend. You get a Braveheart sword. Yeah.
Right,
for your Letterman.
Sick.
Yeah.
All right, my final thoughts on this Georgia-Alabama game. I feel like at this point, we've had 2 weeks of build-up. We've analyzed the hell out of this. We've watched basically all film that there is available. There's not that much left to say from an analysis standpoint that hasn't been said already. I will say this one thing, though, and this is directly for Georgia fans, so I apologize if there's Bama fans in the chat listening. Georgia fans, you remember 2008, you had a top 5 team potentially going to go win the national title after a really big 2007 season. Bam, you're down 31-0 at home. That was Alabama. 2012, you are 1 play away from going to a national title game and inevitably beating Notre Dame. Lose that game. Alabama. 2015, you've got a top 10 program, chance to put yourself in the driver's seat for the SEC East. Embarrassed at home. Alabama. 2017, you're 1 stop away in overtime from winning a national title. Alabama. 2018, you've got a 2-score lead in the second half of an SEC championship game. Backup quarterback comes in, it's squandered. Alabama. 2020, top 10 program, chance at winning the national title in a COVID year. Destroyed on the road. Alabama. 2021, you're 12-0. It's the best season you've had in years. Best defense college football seen in almost a decade. No one is stopping this team. Embarrassed in the SEC championship. Alabama. 2023, you are a 2-time national champion. You're on your way to a three-peat. Haven't lost a game in 29 games. Historic. All ends in the SEC championship. Alabama. 2024, you're in the midst of probably the greatest SEC champion or SEC comeback in history. Greatest Georgia comeback in history. You lose. Alabama. And I know that's a long list and a long drawn out soliloquy of it.
Get to the point, son. That hurt.
Exactly.
That hurt.
Exactly. That's my point. I say
that hurt.
I say all of this to remind you of that this game is 15 years in the making. You have gone through so much. There is not a player on this Georgia Bulldogs roster right now that can attest and go back to all of these games. There's not a Georgia Bulldogs player on this roster that's old enough to remember all of those matchups. There's not a coach on this staff that has been a part of all of those losses. Kirby Smart is the reason for a handful of them. I'm saying all of that to remind you of everything that you've gone through, and that now that team has taken away so much from you is coming to your home, and they are going to try to do the exact same thing. You're on a 33-game win streak. You have the opportunity to stop them. So while it's probably not going to be personal for the 11 Georgia players on the field, it's going to be business as usual. Kirby Smart has very much conducted his team that way. It's personal for the 93,000 that are going to be in that stadium. And Georgia fans have the opportunity, more so than they ever have, to control the outcome of this game. That's my final thought.
So when the Iron Bowl pops up, who do you root for?
When the Iron Bowl pops up? Well, what do you say?
Yeah, you picked Auburn to win, and then you're just flaunting Alabama's wins all in all these Georgia fans'
faces. Yeah, because you need to remember everything that you've been through. This has been 17 years in the making if you're a Georgia fan.
He needed you to feel that pain so you could feel that joy.
Yeah, feel that pain because
feel that pain so you can feel that joy.
Thank you.
I thought it was a great way to send us out tonight. I have 2 final words. 2 glorious final words. Are you ready? 2. Number 73, Juan Gaston.
That's 4.
Shut up.
All right, Charles Barkley.
Steve Nash, Chris Paul.
Must see TV.